now there's a real concern that lawmakers are gearing up to take on those companies and use laws to end the steep price hike in drugs we've seen lately.
Thank you, Tom Busby, 24 past the hour on America in the Morning. So a lot of us ran out and bought the new Apple iPhone 6S, or some of us bought the 6S Plus. Karen Kafa has some advice for you.
From the very first devices sold in Sydney to smiling shoppers in Hong Kong, to consumers who camped out on the streets of Chicago in the early hours of Friday morning. Apple said Monday it sold more than 13 million 6S and 6S Plus iPhones in the first 3 days on the market, a new record for an opening weekend. That also means millions of old smartphones with nothing to do. In anticipation of upgrades, each of the major wireless carriers rolled out trade-in deals for customers. Apple has their own trade-in program too, as do a number of major retailers like Best Buy, Target, and Walmart. Just like purchasing a device, shopping around is crucial for getting the best price for a trade-in. Prior to researching, take an honest assessment of a smartphone's condition and how much storage it has. Unlocked phones, phones not tied to a specific carrier, generally get more money on resale websites. Before finally trading in that phone, be sure to back up data to the cloud and perform a factory reset. With so much personal data stored there, it's important to take as much caution with an old phone as with the new. I'm Karen Kafa.
25 past the hour. Who's coming out? Find out next on America in the Morning. We're back right after these messages.
Walmart can help you stay one step ahead of flu season. Because at Walmart, you can get your flu shot anytime from one of our certified pharmacists. No appointment necessary. And while you're in the store, pick up Lysol disinfecting wipes and Lysol disinfectant spray that actually kill cold and flu viruses and antibiotic-resistant bacteria. These are steps you can take right now at Walmart to help prevent the flu from getting to you.
Some immunizations may not be available in all locations due to state law restrictions on pharmacist-administered immunizations.
And now, a touching moment. Well, staying in touch with Geico.
It was a warm summer day. I was just sitting on a porch watching a babbling brook roll by. Then, out of the blue, I got an update from my Geico app saying my claim had been processed. I felt so connected to nature, to Geico. I stayed there the whole afternoon until that guy told me to stop trespassing on his porch. Sheesh, what was his problem?
Claim status updates, just a few taps away on the Geico app.
Hello, this is Pastor Nate Graham from Berean Community Church. I want to tell you about a radio program called Taking God at His Word that airs on Sunday mornings from 6:30 to 7:30, right here on Delaware 105.9. Psalm 19:7 tells us the testimony of God makes wise the simple. We need wisdom and conviction in this uncertain age. So that's what you'll get at Taking God at His Word. Clear, rich, and practical exposition of God's Word, verse by verse, book by book. I hope it will be a blessing to your life.
Why waste time running from store to store comparing samples and swatches for your window coverings? Let Budget Blinds, your local experts, come to you. Our design consultants will bring samples, swatches, and styles to you so you can see how they look in your home. Or you can check out different ideas and trends at our showroom on Route 9, 4.5 miles west of 5 Points. From sales to installation, we make the process easy for you. Plus, we service all of our products. Call us at 856-6799 and let us get started on your new window coverings today.
Delaware 105.9.
It's been hinted at and talked about, but mostly it's been kind of an open secret, but no longer. Here's Joe Ramsey.
Waylon Smithers Jr. is gay.
Mr. Burns, you're alive!
Smithers, the loyal assistant to billionaire Montgomery Burns, will finally come out to his boss and officially to viewers in episodes airing during the show's current 27th season.
The preparations for your birthday have begun.
I won't get what I really want.
No one does.
Throughout the past 3 decades, one thing always defining Smithers was his infatuation with Mr. Burns, and his sexuality has been hinted at, Smithers even kissing Burns in an episode where Springfield residents are facing the end of the world.
What the hell?
The 2-episode arc will air in March. I'm Joe Ramsey.
Couple of birthdays today. Singer Jerry Lee Lewis, 80 years old, and Florida's Democratic Senator Bill Nelson celebrating 73 years young today. This is America in the Morning for Tuesday, September 29th, 2015. Our producer is Tom Delac. Associate producer and webmaster is Paul Hill. Senior producer is Kevin Delaney. We're at JimboTalk.net, and you can follow Jim on Twitter at Jimbo Talks. I'm Michael Toscano for Jimbo Hannon, and this is Westwood One.
Take Delaware 105.9 with you everywhere by streaming us on your smartphone or tablet. Download the Delaware 105.9 Listen Live app in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store today. Live streaming brought to you in part by Weller's Utility Trailers in Bridgeville, where they sell utility trailers new and used, as well as sheds, carports, gazebos, dog kennels, and swing sets. Give them a call at 302-337-8228 or on the web at wellers.com. On air, on demand, and on your device. Delaware 105.9. Live local news and a CBS News update every hour on the hour throughout your busy day. We've got you covered every day. Delaware 105.9.
Right, we've got you covered with local news. Good morning, Kelly Steele.
Hey, good morning, Dan Gaffney. Good morning, everybody. Seaford voters approving a referendum vote allowing that town to borrow some money for a solar energy system for the city's wastewater treatment plant. 125 ballots were cast in Monday's special election, including 4 absentee ballots. 102 people voted for the proposed borrowing yesterday. 23 people voted against it. The American Civil Liberties Union has filed a lawsuit accusing Delaware State Police of terrorizing a disabled veteran and his quadriplegic wife during a 2014 drug raid in Claymont. Now, the lawsuit, filed on Monday, alleges that police used excessive force against 54-year-old Ruther Hayes of Rehoboth and his 45-year-old wife, Lisa, while executing a search warrant, which was aimed at 2 of her nephews. Kent General Hospital facing a fine for alleged violations of Delaware's hazardous waste regulations. DENREC says during a 2014 compliance assessment at Bay Health's hospital in Dover, 22 violations were found, ranging from pharmaceutical waste ID and disposal to handling and disposal training and failure to conduct inspections weekly. Bay Health facing a penalty of more than $73,000 as well as $11,000 to cover DENREC's cost. Wilmington St. Francis Hospital also facing fines and cost totaling nearly $15,000. CBS News is next at 5:31.
News update. In 4.5 hours, Planned Parenthood officials will go before members of Congress. Correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The House Oversight Committee hears from Planned Parenthood's president today, but the congressional investigations are truly just beginning. Outgoing Speaker John Boehner says the House will set up a select committee, saying undercover videos.
I'm going to throw a number out.
Really raise questions about the use of federal funds and aborted fetuses that are born alive.
But New York Democratic Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney says Republicans are more interested in reducing women's access to abortion.
I believe Planned Parenthood should be celebrated, not demonized.
There's a new CBS New York Times poll out on Planned Parenthood. Jennifer DePinto is our director of surveys.
Even among Americans who think funding for Planned Parenthood should be cut off, most of them, 53%, don't think that's worth shutting down the federal government for.
Planned Parenthood currently receives $450 million in federal funding, about 1/3 of the group's annual budget. CBS News Update, I'm Dave Barrett.
Identity theft is a crime that affects millions of Americans each year. Defend yourself against identity theft at a free community shred event sponsored by the Delaware Attorney General's Office. Bring up to 3 boxes of documents with personal info and shred them on Saturday, October 3rd from 9 to 1 at the BJ's parking lot at the Peninsula Crossing Shopping Center on Route 113 in Millsboro. That's Saturday, October 3rd from 9 to 1. Learn more by visiting attorneygeneral.delaware.gov or call 1-800-220-5424.
It's amazing how fast you can change from hectic to tranquil. A state of calmness comes over you. No worries. Everything's taken care of. There's absolutely nothing to do but pack for the most enjoyable vacation ever. Hi, Cindy McCabe, owner of Bethany Travel. I'm excited to invite you to our 2nd annual travel show, Tuesday, October 27th at Baywood Greens in Long Neck, or Wednesday, October 28th at Ocean Pines Yacht Club from 4 till 8. We pride ourselves on taking care of every detail to ensure you a vacation you won't forget. Join us on Tuesday, October 27th at Baywood Greens, or Wednesday, October 28th at Ocean Pines Yacht Club from 4 till 8. Door prizes every hour and refreshments. Talk with vendors from Apple Vacations, Walt Disney, Carnival, Highland America, Royal Caribbean, Tap, Sandals and Beaches, and more. Whether it's an all-inclusive resort or a river cruise you're looking for, Bethany Travel offers the same price as the internet, but with no booking fees. RSVP today and join us for our travel shows. Call 800-806-8747 or visit bethanytravel.net.
Thanks for listening to Delaware 105.9 on your radio. And for your convenience, streaming live online. Visit Delaware1059.com to hear local news and talk for Delmarva online, streaming 24/7. Sponsored in part by Dart First State. Let Dart do the driving. Save money, save gas, ride greener. Bus route statewide between Rehoboth, Georgetown, Dover, and Wilmington. Delaware 105.9. Streaming live at Delaware1059.com. The Dan Gaffney Show begins its broadcast day from the opulent new studios of the Delmarva Broadcasting Company's Delaware 105.9 inside the Gaffney Broadcasting Complex. And now, join us as we stand for the playing of our national anthem.
That's a little goofy, especially when you're going into the national anthem.
Good morning. This is the Dan Gaffney program. Great to be with you. We've got lots to talk about here this morning. I'm leading with free coffee, though, first. Even though we got a lot of stuff happening today. Donald Trump, tax cuts for all. We have a community ravaged by heroin. We have the death of a 7-year-old boy in Long Neck to talk about, some heavy stuff and some other local issues to get into here today, but I am leading with something on the upbeat here, free coffee. Here it is. I asked Kelly if she stopped. It's National Coffee Day, and I stopped at a Wawa. They're giving out free coffee.
I did not stop because...
I'm ashamed. I thought you would.
I know. I was, just other stuff going on. So, but I got mine anyway.
Petchy brought you one,
Petchy
right?
brought me in.
I saw he was...
coffee.
He took advantage of the free coffee. I knew it was free coffee day. He came in with like 4 coffees.
Petch from our sister station, Eagle 97.7, came in with a whole crate full of coffee, and I asked him how he got all... Because I understand that it's one per person each time you go in, and he had like 7 of them in the...
Right. He had to sweet talk him first thing in the morning.
He smiles and he says, "My name is Petch," in that British accent, and they give him what he wants. So.
Listen, I stopped at a Wawa this morning, and they had the regular bins of coffee out, and they were all, and this is like 3 a.m, and they're all on, and then they had this giant, like catering size tub of coffee that's not normally there.
To speed up the lines that are going to come in. How crowded was it this morning when you went in?
Well, 3 a.m, Kelly, not very crowded.
Come on, all the mailmen are up, all the radio people are up, all the TV people.
Actually, you'd be surprised at who's up.
Right.
And I'm actually shocked that nobody hit me up for any money today. That's been happening a lot lately.
At that Wawa that you go to?
Different places, Kelly. And I just talked to a buddy of mine who lives in Millsboro. He said he goes to a little store, and it's like walking the gauntlet of people asking for money all the time. And I said, in little sleepy Millsboro? Yeah, little sleepy Millsboro. Used to be, small town America. Now it's like you're in Times Square, with people asking for money all over the place. I don't know what's going on in the culture. I just don't know what it is. I really don't. But there's a lot of that going on. Am I right? 839-1059. Good morning. I'd like you to talk to us here. I'd love to chat with you. 839-1059. So, I don't know. Are people hitting you up for money? But and getting free coffee, Kelly, it was a plus. So
yeah, and Wawa is not the only place that's giving away the free coffee today. Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about Royal Farms. Is that you pouring your coffee?
That's right. It's a sound most of us love hearing in the morning. Yeah. That's what John Butler said. John Butler, Delaware 105.9, has all the tantalizing details for you to get free coffee.
It's a sound most of us love hearing in the morning.
See?
The pouring of coffee, one of the most beloved morning beverages that's been a part of human history since the 15th century, according to the National Coffee Association. The brew drink is being celebrated today across the first state. Dunkin' Donuts is celebrating with a freebie of its own. Senior Field Manager Jackie Keown.
Free medium hot or iced dark roast. It's turned out to be a fan favorite in the Mid-Atlantic.
Other freebies includes a free cup of coffee at Wawa and a free 12-ounce of coffee and original glazed donut at Krispy Kreme locations. It's unknown the origins of the unofficial holiday. What is known is how popular the holiday and the drink has become. After all, Jerry Seinfeld once said that coffee solves all of the day's problems in one delightful little cup. John Butler, Delaware 105.9 News.
That's the kind of news we need around here. More of that.
More Java news.
Seriously. More of that. That's what we need around here. That was great.
Good report, John Butler.
And was that him choking or swallowing at the very end? That sound effect.
His asthma was acting up.
No, I actually isolated that. Just that little... whatever that noise was at the end.
That little gulp thing.
Hold on, we have it isolated. What is that? I don't know if that sounds like something else. Might be some other kind of national day.
Did he
Like
refer
National
to
Fart
today
Day.
as a holiday?
Yeah, it's a holiday. What is that noise?
I don't know.
Hold on, it was a great report. We're a little concerned about this noise being played at the end.
I don't want to know.
It's him swallowing. I think it's him. What does it sound like coming through the radio? Sounds like something else.
It sounds like the combination between a growl and a swallow and a... yeah,
delicious.
One of those two.
Sounds pretty good. All right, good morning. So anyway, I love that report, John Butler, telling us where people can get free coffee. Who else is doing free coffee? Let's talk to some real live human beings. Hello, Delaware 105.9.
Good morning, Dan.
How are you, buddy?
I'm awesome. How are you?
Excellent. Is this David of Millsboro?
This is David of Millsboro, soon to be David of Dagsboro. Three more days.
You keep threatening. You say 3 more days when you're moving into the big city of Dagsboro, Delaware?
Well, it's technically Clarksville, but it's only about 1.5 miles from Millville. But it's now at the Dagsboro address. But yeah, we're finally achieving a lifelong dream for us. We're buying a house. We're closing on Friday.
Oh,
God
nice!
Has been so good. Yes, indeed. We're so happy.
Hey, let me ask you about that. Say your piece, and then I want to talk to you about something else. But go ahead, David of soon-to-be Dagsboro.
2 things. I'm concerned with noise. It sounds like he's got the mic right.
The what?
Carlin used to do some sort of sound effect in one of his routines where he would microphone.
Oh, you're breaking up on me, David of Dagsboro. I hope the cell signal is better when you...
And Rehoboth is also offering free coffee according to Facebook.
Who is?
According to their Facebook site.
Who?
Chick-fil-A in Rehoboth.
Okay. Very
according
good.
to their Facebook page, they're offering free coffee from 6:30 to...
Hey, David, you're breaking up. As I said earlier, unfortunately, you're breaking up. I hope when you move to Dagsboro, they have better cell service. Are you there? He's completely gone. He's completely gone. Darn. I wanted to ask him about buying a house. David, call back. I want to ask him about buying a house. I have some questions about that. For real. 839-1059. 839-1059. So there we go. National Coffee Day is a holiday. So Wawa, Dunkin' Donuts, he said, at least early in the morning, according to their Facebook page, the Chick-fil-A, other places too, giving out free coffee. Just celebrate. And I think that's fantastic. And David, if we can hear back from you when you get a better cell, I have a couple of questions. Seriously, I'm interested. 839-1059. Well, here we are. Good morning. You know, it's funny. I was called away yesterday. I want to thank Jim Weller for filling in for me yesterday. How did Jim do, Kelly? Jim do all right?
Jim did swell.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim Weller.
Jim likes to talk.
Sweller feller. Well, that's kind of a prerequisite to the job. Got to kind of like to talk. So thank you, Jim. So I was called away to a meeting. I went up to the mothership in Wilmington, and it's funny how many people talk about coffee. The El Presidente and the CEO both talking about coffee. They're both in the conversation, all centered around the Keurig machine and whether or not we really like it or not. You know, it's like we use it, but do we really like it? Here's my analysis on the Keurig machine. And I've tried it. I use it, but I think the only thing I can drink from the Keurig is a higher quality coffee. I find if I buy the regular brands, or even some of the popular brands, they don't taste good. I gotta go Starbucks or Pete's only, and that's the only one to me that ends up tasting not like plastic. So that's just all I know about the Keurig. If you're not happy with the Keurig, buy a more expensive coffee. That's all I know. Good morning, Delaware 105.9.
Good morning, Dan. It's me again. I'm in a clearer spot now.
So I'm excited about this buying a house deal. It's a lifelong dream. So have you been renting?
Yeah. Well, yeah. For my whole married life, we've been renting something. We started out renting a house. Then when it burned down and we had to get out of there, we lived with my wife's parents for a little while, and we bought a mobile home and put it in a mobile home park. And it was funny. I always like to tell this story to young married couples because about 5 years after we did that, we were sitting there talking, and I said to my wife, I said, gee, I wish we'd use that money to buy land and a house. And she said, yeah, me too. And I said, yeah, but you wanted to get out of your parents' home. And she looked at me and she said, I thought you did. And I said, no, I thought you did. And so lack of communication, you know.
So in other words, you would have waited it out a little longer and saved a little more and went straight from the mom's house to the land and house, right?
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And so would she. But she thought I was miserable, and I thought she was miserable. And so we didn't communicate. So that's why it's important to communicate. We spent 20 years in that mobile home, living on rented land. Even way after it was paid off, we still paid lot rent. And then finally, it needed a lot of repair. And so my mother-in-law talked us into coming and living with her again and saving up our pennies and buying a house. And so that's what we've been doing for the last year and a half. And now it's finally come to pass. And on Friday, we sign our life away and move into our home.
Did you buy a pre-built house or did you build a house?
Pre-built.
You looked around, you found a house already on the market.
Yes. Yeah, we looked at a lot of houses, and the only thing I didn't like about this one was the land. The house is awesome. I mean, it's very structurally sound. The way it's set up just right for us, for our lifestyle. We just absolutely love it. The only thing is, I looked at it, it's almost like a standard lot. It's about a little less than a quarter acre, and I was looking for land, But all the places we looked at with land, with a lot of land, the houses weren't too sporty. You know what I mean? So
yeah, right. You can find something with some acreage, but the house is a dump, probably.
Right. Yeah. In those cases, now there was one other one, but we could never get the financing for it. But this one was everything just fell right into place. So we like I say, it's a dream come true. We're so excited about it. My wife was awake this morning at 4:30 with me, saying she's had these moments where she wakes up, she can't sleep, she's thinking about the house, thinking about
exciting.
Yeah, good and bad, because you get anxiety, a little anxiety coming. I mean, we're both 50 and getting ready to sign a 30-year mortgage, but
all right. Yeah, it's a good deal. Do you think you got a good price?
Yes. That close to the beach for what we're paying? Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited for you. I'm glad you called. Now, what would you say to people who think they want to buy a house, but they can't? They don't think they can afford it or whatever.
Do your due diligence. I mean, look around. Delaware State Housing Authority has some good plans. Talk to people. Find a good realtor. That is key too. I mean, our realtor. I'm not gonna plug her on here. I mean, I don't know if she could use the business, Sarah Schifano, but if that was really the key. I mean, we can read and we can look at houses ourselves and all that stuff, but having someone knowledgeable about the market and about everything you need to do and all that, Sarah Schifano, but is really helpful. I'm not going to mention her name on the air, though, because I don't know if that's allowed.
Don't mention Sarah's name on the air.
No.
Well, look, I think I would invite my listeners to join me in congratulating you and your wife on this big move, and I hope your closing goes super smooth on Friday with no surprises. All the best to you in that arena.
Oh, thank you so much. And please pray that the storm stays away on Saturday, just long enough for us to get our stuff in there. So it's not going to take us long. We don't have a whole lot, but
what is the?
I've even lined up help. But if it's pouring rain, we can't do it. I mean, it's a pickup I'm using. So.
Is this going to be more or less a month than when you had a mobile home on rented land in total?
It's going to be more. It's going to be double.
Ooh.
But my wife has an excellent job, making great money. I have just started a job making okay money. It's going to work out. It really is. I mean, we wouldn't get into something we couldn't afford.
Well, I'm excited for you, man. All the best. Hope you have a great move, a closing, and then a move. I got you. All right?
Well, thank you so much, Dan.
All the best to you. Thank you, David. Very exciting for our listeners when big things happen to them like that. That's good news. David of Millsboro, soon to be David of Dagsboro, right? That's great news. And thanks for the tip on the other free coffee place, too. All right, David? 839-1059. Good morning. This is the Dan Gaffney program. It's 5:51.
It's like having a CBS News app right there on your dashboard. Check in for a quick update on the hour throughout your busy day. Thanks for making the switch. Delaware 105.9.
Now, here's your complete forecast. Meteorologist Steve Williams.
Today, mostly cloudy and humid with a high 78. So it'll be warm and humid tonight. Periods of rain and a thunderstorm. Low 71. Periods of rain tomorrow. High 77. Breezy tomorrow night. Occasional rain and drizzle. Low 62. And then Thursday, windy and cooler. On and off rain and drizzle with a high 65. Thursday night, cloudy and windy. Milder in the evening. Some rain and shower activity. Low down to 59. I'm Steve Williams in the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center.
All right, Lewis, light fog, 68. Rehoboth Boardwalk, 70. Circle in Georgetown, 66 degrees. Delaware 105.9.
The comments, views, and opinions expressed on the air at Delaware 105.9 are those of the hosts, callers, and guests, and not those of staff, management, or advertisers at Delmarva Broadcasting Company.
You know, I go to Halpern Eye, love them. Get my eyeglasses there, get an exam there if I need it. My children go there for their annual exams. We've had stuff in my kids' eyes and stuff. We need to go to the doctor and have them check it out. Halpern Eye does a great job in that area. Expert care. If you have a need for an eye exam, make sure you get a hold of Halpern Eye. If you need new glasses, want a new look, Halpern Eye is going to help you in that area. Don't forget their back-to-school special is still going on, and that is $69 for a pair of glasses for students, $69, complete pair of glasses, single vision, polycarbonate lenses, scratch-resistant coating. Very nice. 2 pair for $89. 2 pair for $89. Got the nice pair, the everyday pair, the dress-up pair, the not pair, the spare pair. Get 2 of the same if you want. Whatever, $89. They also have a deal where you get a designer package. If the students wanted some of the designer frames, free lenses with the designer package. So this is in Halpern. It's still going on. Student special. Outside prescriptions that are valid are welcome. But if you need an eye exam, they can help you with that as well. Go to halperneye.com. Halpern Eye, Halpern, halperneye.com. They're in Seaford, Ocean View, new Georgetown location. Have you been there? They're doing just a bang-up job over there, I understand, by the Redners in Georgetown. They're in Milford on Airport Road. Beautiful facility there behind the Walmart. A couple of locations in Dover. Then you've got Smyrna, Middletown, all the way upstate, Kirkwood Highway, and those places. So go to halperneye.com for complete details.
Come take advantage of the Sunfest savings at Berlin Chevy. Take $12,000 off with any trade on select new 2015 Chevy Silverados in stock. Colorado, Tahoe, Suburban, Impalas, Malibus, Cruises, even the 2015 Silverado 2500 HD. Take $12,000 off. Have a job clearing $350 a week? Berlin Chevy wants to approve you for the credit you deserve. 2015 Chevy Cruze, just $167 per month lease. Plus, we'll take any trade, even if you still owe thousands on it. Take $12,000 off with any trade on select new 2015 Chevy Silverados in stock.
Remember, Jim wants to see you in the littlest, coolest town in America, Berlin, Maryland.
Berlin Chevy. Find new roads on Old Ocean City Boulevard, Berlin, Maryland.
Qualified buyers. Credit may affect terms. Balance of trade carried over to new loan. Discount based on MSRP of $58,650 with $8,798 factory rebates to dealer and $3,202 dealer discount. Stock number 3725. Cruise 36 month, 10,000 mile per year lease. No security deposit. Plus tax tag dealer processing. Offers not in combination.
Join us this Saturday for the Delmarva Potting Shed. I am Valerie Cordry, one of the hosts. Every Saturday from 9 to 11, Jake Smith and I will be broadcasting live from East Coast Garden Center. Be a part of our lively discussions about plants, landscaping, garden design, and all that's new and exciting. We'll sprinkle in some gardening guests to excite your interest and keep you up to date on the many interesting gardening happenings.
And the Delmarva Potting Shed brought to you by Lawns Unlimited, the exclusive mist-away dealer on Delmarva, installing misting and spraying systems to control insects for residential and commercial lawns. Call 645-5296 today or visit lawnsunlimited.com to get started. Also brought to you by Stokely Materials, providing high-quality pavers, retaining walls, decorative stones, sand, soil, and mulch with 2 locations, Route 113 in Georgetown and Route 9 in Lewis. Don't miss the Delmarva Potting Shed this Saturday from 9 to 11 here on Delaware 105.9.
That's a sigh of relief because summer is over and fall is here, and I'm back at the Cottage Cafe in Bethany Beach. Join me this Thursday, October 1st, as I broadcast the Susan Monday Show live from the Cottage Cafe. I can't wait. I have been missing all of the great specials at the Cottage Cafe, especially the $5.99 daily bar special, as well as the $5.99 Poffenburger. So since I haven't seen a lot of you since, last spring, I'm hoping you're going to come out and join me for this live broadcast so that we can get caught up at the Cottage Cafe on Route 1 South in Bethany Beach.
Is the exterior of your home covered with dirt and grime? Do you have black streaks running down your roof? If so, call the Good Neighbor Professional Home Services. The Good Neighbor is quickly becoming the go-to source for power washing in Sussex County. The Good Neighbor's proprietary cleaning method will safely and effectively clean your home and property without the damage normally associated with high-pressure cleaning. The Good Neighbor offers house washing, roof and gutter cleaning, decks, patio, and flat surface cleaning. The Good Neighbor is equipped to handle large and small jobs, and they offer group packages to you and your neighbors to make their services even more affordable.
My name's Chris. My wife and I bought a new home in January. The house had not been occupied for 3 years, and it was green. It needed help. We needed help. We called Mike, the Good Neighbor. His guys came out and power washed everything. House siding, windows, vinyl fence. They even helped restore a redwood hot tub. Our house went from eyesore to neighborhood envy. We definitely recommend the Good Neighbor.
Call Mike Capus at 302-228-9910. That's 302-228-9910. Or online, goodneighbor-bethany.com.
Remember Jared Morris today at 3 on Delaware 105.9.
Jared, back from a little vacay, back on the radio today, as he just reminded you, does a great show. If you haven't listened in the afternoon, you ought to. 3 till 7. It's top trending stories in a Delaware phone fest, really, with Jared. Today at 3, Delaware 105.9. Almost 6 o'clock. Good morning. It's time for a local news update.
Local news first on Delaware 105.9.
Delaware 105.9 news time is 5:59. Good Tuesday morning, everyone. I'm Kelly Steele from the Weather Center. Going to be mostly cloudy, very humid out today, a high of 78 degrees. Rain moves in tonight. Prison officials say a Delaware killer whose death sentence was twice overturned has died of natural causes. Authorities say 40-year-old Siddiqui Garden died on Sunday night at Christiana Hospital. He had been serving a life sentence for murder. The Pope used some of his final moments in the U.S. to bless a Delaware family injured by exposure to a banned pesticide during a Caribbean vacation. Philadelphia Inquirer reporting that the pontiff blessed Stephen Esmond, Teresa Devine, and their teenage sons in a meeting at Philly International Airport. A lawyer for the family says they had been recovering from neurological damage since being exposed to methyl bromide at a U.S. Virgin Islands resort. From the first town in the first state, this is WXDE Lewis.
Delaware 105.9.
It's 6 o'clock.
CBS News, I'm Frank Sedapani. President Obama and Russia's Vladimir Putin spent time last night talking about the 4.5-year civil war in Syria, but they didn't come to a meeting of the minds on how to end it. CBS News correspondent Allison Harmon.
Putin called the meeting, quote, very useful and frank. But the meeting produced no clear solution to the conflict, and the two leaders remain at odds over the fate of Syrian President Bashar Assad.
President Obama will spend his final day in New York leading a conference on violent extremism. CBS's Pam Coulter has that.
The summit comes as thousands of foreign fighters continue to pour into Iraq and Syria to join ISIS. Intelligence officials estimate the numbers doubled in the past year to 28,000 people from more than 100 countries. Deputy National Security Advisor Ben Rhodes on the focus of the summit.
This gets at what are our respective countries doing to counter the ISIL ideology, which is the attraction, in part, that draws people to Syria.
The president has said the battle against violent extremism will last for years. Pam Coulter, CBS News with the president in New York.
Afghan troops have recaptured part of Kunduz, a city that was overrun by Taliban insurgents 24 hours ago. Suna Engel Rasmussen, reporting from Kabul via Skype, tells us they had help from American warplanes.
U.S. military has launched airstrikes on Kunduz to aid the Afghan government forces in retaking the city. And this is the second time in only a few weeks that the U.S. Carries out 8 airstrikes to help take back territory seized by the Taliban.
A few hours from now, Congress will hold its first hearing into controversial undercover videos showing Planned Parenthood officials talking about research using parts of aborted fetuses. The videos have fueled calls from conservatives to cut Planned Parenthood's government funding. CBS's Hannah Daniels tells us how Planned Parenthood is fighting back.
Planned Parenthood will hold rallies in dozens of cities across the country. They're calling it National Pink Out Day, and they're just hoping several supporters come out and make sure their support is heard.
Have ambulance companies been taking Medicare for a ride? Live to CBS News correspondent Vicki Barker.
A federal audit shows Medicare has paid $30 million for ambulance rides where patients were apparently never treated at their destination and where no record exists as to where they were actually picked up. And some urban ambulance services were reimbursed at a rate of 100 miles per ride, 10 times the average. Philadelphia, L.A., New York, and Houston accounted for about half of the questionable rides and payments, but nationwide at least 1 in 5 ambulance companies had at least some questionable billings. Frank?
The National Weather Service is keeping an eye on Joaquin, a new tropical storm. Forecaster John Cangelosi.
Best estimate right now is it'll make a turn sometime during the day on Thursday or Thursday night, and then generally move northward, paralleling the U.S. East Coast.
Financial markets overseas moved lower overnight after yesterday's more than 2% sell-off on Wall Street, but S&P futures are up 6 points. This is CBS News.
At John Deere, we know you wouldn't buy a car without taking it for a spin, and it's, well, just a car. So you'll definitely want to get behind the wheel and test drive the John Deere S240 Sport. Equipped with a powerful V-twin engine and heavy-duty hydrostatic transmission. Available exclusively at your local John Deere dealer.
You can find Atlantic Tractor on the web at atjd.net or at myjohndeeredealer.com. Atlantic Tractor, we live it.
We help farmers make the best use of their land, which means healthier crops, higher yields, and fewer harvesting hours, which is good news for a growing population and good news for the environment. BASF. We create chemistry.
Delaware 105.9 news time is 6:04.
News brought to you by Halpern Eye. Back to school special still going on right now. A complete pair of glasses, $69. 2 pair for $89 for students. Now for everyone, starting October 1st through the end of October, 30% off frames and lenses. It's a big discount at Halpern Eye. Go to halperneye.com for more details.
Thanks, Dan. Seaford voters approved a referendum Monday that would allow the town to borrow money for a solar energy system for that city's wastewater treatment plant. According to the certification of elections obtained by Delaware 105.9 last night, 125 ballots were cast in the special election, including 4 absentee ballots. 102 people voted for the proposed borrowing, while only 23 voted against it. That gives the town the go-ahead to borrow about $1.6 million for the system, with a repayment period of 20 years at a 2% interest rate. 5 people, including 2 children, are pulled from the ocean during a dramatic water rescue in Ocean City. The Ocean City Fire Department and Beach Patrol responded to the swimmers in distress along 33rd Street about 4:15 Monday afternoon. Spokesperson Jessica Waters says 2 children were in distress and 3 adults then entered the water attempting to rescue the children when they also became caught in the rip current. Lifeguards were not on duty at the time. However, Waters says fire and rescue crews and mobile beach patrol units were on the scene within minutes of receiving the report. 47 ABC reports that 1 man was reportedly airlifted for upper body injuries, 3 other patients taken by ambulance to Atlantic General Hospital in Berlin, and then a 5th person did not require any medical attention. Waters urges beachgoers to stay out of the ocean in the off-season when lifeguards are not present, saying it is not worth risking your life to swim unsupervised in the ocean. The American Civil Liberties Union files a lawsuit accusing Delaware State Police of terrorizing a disabled veteran and his quadriplegic wife during a 2014 drug raid in Claymont. That lawsuit, filed Monday, alleges that police used excessive force against 54-year-old Ruther Hayes of Rehoboth and his 45-year-old wife Lisa while executing a search warrant aimed at 2 of her nephews. The lawsuit says Hayes was giving his wife a sponge bath when the officers burst in, ordering her to stand up as she lay naked from the waist down on a bed. The plaintiffs claim that Hayes was beaten and twice shocked with a stun gun after trying to cover his wife with a sheet. A state police spokesman declined to comment on the lawsuit, citing pending litigation. A funeral service has been scheduled for a 7-year-old boy found dead in a home in Oak Orchard last week. Delaware State Police continuing to investigate that September 22nd death of Nathan Leppo. Police tell Delaware 105.9 News that no foul play is suspected. The Division of Forensic Science is also investigating for a cause and manner of death. Nathan's funeral will be held at 4 o'clock Friday afternoon at Parcell Funeral Homes and Crematorium in Lewis. A viewing for family and friends will begin at 2 o'clock, also on Friday. Nathan's aunt, Brianna Leppo, has set up a GoFundMe account for her nephew to help pay for his funeral. You'll find that link on our website. If you want to donate, so far, more than $6,000 has been raised. It is National Coffee Day, and some local coffee chains are celebrating the occasion with some freebies and some discounts. Delaware 105.9's John Butler has the tantalizing details this morning.
It's a sound most of us love hearing in the morning. The pouring of coffee, one of the most beloved morning beverages that's been a part of human history since the 15th century, according to the National Coffee Association. The brew drink is being celebrated today across the first state. Dunkin' Donuts is celebrating with a freebie of its own. Senior Field Manager Jackie Keown.
Free medium hot or iced dark roast,
It's turned out to be a fan favorite in the Mid-Atlantic.
Other freebies includes a free cup of coffee at Wawa and a free 12-ounce of coffee and original glazed donut at Krispy Kreme locations. It's unknown the origins of the unofficial holiday. What is known is how popular the holiday and the drink has become. After all, Jerry Seinfeld once said that coffee solves all of the day's problems in one delightful little cup. John Butler, Delaware 105.9 News.
Thank you, John. Delaware 105.9 News. Time is 6:09.
Alpern Eye Care is focused on enhancing patients' quality of life through vision, with locations throughout Delaware, including the newest in Georgetown, specializing in comprehensive eye exams, 24-hour emergency care, medical and pediatric care, contact lenses, and the leader in designer eyewear. Alpern Eye Care performs the highest quality, most technologically advanced eye exams and ensure personal attention to each patient. Need an eye exam? Halpern Eye Care has convenient hours with evenings and weekends. Right now at Halpern Eye Care, receive a free frame with the purchase of lenses. That's right, you'll receive a free frame for a limited time at all Halpern Eye Care locations, and you don't need an eye exam to take advantage of this great offer. Outside prescriptions are welcome. Free frame for a limited time only at Halpern Eye Care locations. For complete details and to schedule your appointment, visit online, halperneye.com, or call 1-800-734-2010. Some restrictions apply. Visit halperneye.com for complete details. Expires 9/30/15.
In matinee Major League Baseball, Max Scherzer tossed 7 1/3 hitless innings before the Reds finally got on the board. Scherzer would go 8 innings, allow 1 run on 2 hits, and strike out 10 as the Nats beat the Reds 5-1. Matt Dendecker drove in a pair with a home run and a double and scored 2 runs in the win. Jonathan Papelbon's thrown his last pitch of the season for Washington. He dropped his appeal of a 3-game suspension by Major League Baseball for plunking Manny Machado last week, and the team suspended him for the remaining 4 games after that, all due to yesterday's altercation in the dugout with Bryce Harper. Tonight, the Orioles host the Blue Jays at 7:05 at Camden Yards. Chris Tillman looks to even his record, while Marco Estrada will get the start for Toronto. On Monday Night Football tonight, the Green Bay Packers at 2-0 will host the 1-1 Kansas City Chiefs. They'll kick off at 8:25. That's Schofield on Sports on Delaware 105.9.
And from the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center, today is going to be mostly cloudy, very sticky, humid outside, a high of 78, warm, humid. Rain moves in tonight, an overnight low of 71. Tomorrow, mostly rain, off and on all day, a high of 77. Same for Thursday, although it is going to cool off on Thursday. Tomorrow's high 77, Thursday's high only 65. 67 this morning in Felton, out the door. 68 on the beach in Lewis. I'm Kelly Steele in the Delaware 105.9 newsroom. More of the Dan Gaffney Show coming up on Delaware 105.9.
Nathan Leppo. Such a cute little boy. I see his picture. Reminds me of my own children when I look at his face. Cute little guy. And he died. He was 7 years old. Died last week in Oak Orchard suddenly, and I don't know how he died. But it was unexpected and sudden. This second grader from Long Neck Elementary School, breaking the hearts of his classmates and teachers and others in the community who just had to look at his face to know he's a sweet little kid. Police are investigating. They initially said no foul play, but would not release any other details. The cause and manner of death from the forensic office not being released either. That doesn't mean there aren't plenty of rumors and people talking about how he may have died. "7 years old. Unexpected, sudden, Oak Orchard. Not a car crash or anything, just, I guess, in a home, right? Was he found dead in a home?
Yes.
I encourage you to go to my Facebook page and take a look at this little guy. And I also have a link to his obituary. and a link to a GoFundMe site that his aunt set up. Unexpected death of a child. They did not have the funds available to give him the funeral he deserves, they said. So they started a GoFundMe drive for this young boy. And they're close to reaching their goal. I put a link to it on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Dan Gaffney Show. Very difficult for me. I'm having a lot of trouble with this. Here's what the GoFundMe page says. Hello, my name is Brianna, and this is my nephew, Nathan. He was taken from us too soon and unexpectedly on September 22nd, 2015. He was 7 years old. He was a funny, charismatic, and lovable little boy. We don't have the funds to give him the funeral he deserves, so if anyone could please help in any amount, it would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. They were set as a goal, a very specific amount, $7,695. That must be the cost of the funeral, $7,695. The GoFundMe account has raised $6,320 of that. 125 people in our community have been giving $5, $10, $20, $40. The GoFundMe site is set up. I don't know. For me, it's just very difficult to see this little guy. Picture of him sitting there eating some chicken nuggets and French fries and smiling. And to think that he is, he's dead. And I think, I don't think it's out of line for me to say unusual circumstances, although we don't know the circumstances, but it's certainly unusual for a 7-year-old to die suddenly and unexpectedly at home for any reason. That's not usual. When I say unusual circumstances, I'm not too far off. Parcell Funeral Home has his funeral on Friday. And if I may, they have an obituary published. I want to share this with you because I know a lot of people in the community, Long Neck Elementary and others, have been touched by this. That a boy at such a young age I'll stop myself and read the obituary. Nathan Wayne Lepo, age 7, of Seaford, Delaware, passed away Tuesday in Lewis. Actually, right, it says in Lewis, DE. I don't know. Son of Bruce Wayne Lepo Jr., his mom, Holly Ann Howell, and his mother, Kayla Marie Brown. Nathan attended second grade at Long Neck Elementary, Long Neck, Delaware. He was known to be full of energy and always very active. Nathan enjoyed playing outdoors, fishing with his daddy, and riding his bike. He loved spending time with his brothers, Mason and Logan, either watching movies or playing together at home. Some of his memorable moments were going to car shows with his grandpa or spending time with his daddy. Nathan loved everyone around him. He'll always be remembered by his family and friends. In addition to his parents, Nathan was survived by his paternal grandmother, Bonnie Cronchey, and paternal grandfather, Bruce Lepo Sr., and his companion, Karen Reed. Paternal great-grandparents, David Lepo Sr. and Gwendolyn Lepo. Maternal grandparents, Sandra and Tom Brown. Maternal great-grandmother, Joanne Booth. 2 brothers, Mason and Logan Lepo, and aunt, Brianna Lepo. 2 cousins, Jaden Drummond and Cameron Brown, and a host of aunts, uncles, great-aunts, great-uncles, and cousins who will miss Nathan extensively. Funeral service are this Friday, at 4 p.m., Parcell Funeral Homes and Crematorium, Atkins Lodge Chapel, Kings Highway, Lewis. Parcell, Lewis, 4 o'clock, Friday. Friends may call beginning at 2. Interment will be private. Memorial contributions may be made on his GoFundMe account, which I have linked to on my Facebook page. So sorry, people. Kelly and I have been talking about this, and I walked into the newsroom this morning after staring at his picture, and I just said, Kelly, what happened to this little boy? It's almost hard to fathom. All right. Good morning. Delaware 105.9. I have nothing else to say except that's that. And, they need a few more bucks to reach their goal for the funeral. So if you want to help out, you can go to the GoFundMe page, which I've linked to, and you can also read his obituary, sign the guest book or whatever. There you go. Good morning at 6:20.
Dan, we're off to a good start this morning. Dry roadways, light activity, maybe a little bit of fog hanging around some spots again this morning. Not a blanket over the entire area by any stretch, but a couple of spots going to see some reduced visibility, so adjust your driving accordingly if you get into those areas. You'll find that 13's been running well as you work your way out of Del Mar through Laurel, through Seaford. 113 also doing all right in and out of Georgetown, or up toward Milford, Kent County, in and out of Dover. Seeing light activity all the way around and all the major routes in and out of Dover, even Route 1 through the Dover Toll Plaza, running very well in both directions. I'm Robin Bryson with Traffic Watch on Delaware 105.9.
Local news first, then CBS News. Every hour, on the hour. Whatever happens next, happens here. We're Delaware 105.9.
Today, mostly cloudy and humid with a high 78. It'll be warm and humid tonight. Periods of rain and a thunderstorm. Low 71. Periods of rain tomorrow. High 77. Breezy tomorrow night. Occasional rain and drizzle. Low 62. And then Thursday, windy and cooler. On and off rain and drizzle with a high 65. Thursday night, cloudy and windy. Milder in the evening. Some rain and shower activity. Low down to 59. I'm Steve Williams in the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center.
All right, in the community now, we have 70 degrees on the boardwalk in Bethany Beach, 68 Lewis, 66 in Georgetown.
In the pursuit of greatness, you're out there searching for ways to put more bushels in the bin at harvest, and the team at DuPont Pioneer is with you. When you're testing new technologies, trying new agronomic practices, and doing whatever else it takes, we're with you. And when you're thinking about how you'll continue to be a good steward of the land for the next generation to follow, we're there too. Pioneer, with you from the word go. When DuPont Pioneer says we're with you from the word go, what's that mean? It means we're putting together the total package that totals up at harvest.
Well, we start with high-performance trait packages.
Pioneer brand corn products combine world-class genetics with advanced seed treatments and tested and trusted traits to bring you elite performance.
Our hybrids are bred to yield.
Bring in the agronomic insights and unmatched service and support from your local team, and you'll get results that add up in your fields.
We help put the right products on each acre.
Pioneer, with you from the word go.
Hi, it's Justine from Mr. P's Pizzeria in Lewis. I am happy to announce we are now open 7 days a week. Yes, folks, open every day. We're an authentic wood-fired pizzeria with a full menu. We make our own dough and use 100% whole milk mozzarella cheese. 16 years in business, busier than ever. We also specialize in craft beer with 19 taps available, including Cask and Nitro. Easily found on Kings Highway in Lewis, 645-1900. Slices every day, 11:30 to 3. See you soon.
This is Sheila Setzer of Brighton Homes. This is your last chance to build a new stick-built home with the features you love and the prices you want in the villages of 5 Points on Savannah Road in Lewis. Purchase in September and receive free granite, free crown molding, free hardwood and tiled floors, $10,000 in options of your choice, and we will pay your entire 3% transfer tax. Visit us at our furnished model open daily. Call me at 703-6633 or go to brytonhomes.com.
Brighton Homes is an equal housing opportunity builder. Prices and incentives are subject to change without notice.
Hello, this is Pastor Nate Graham from Berean Community Church. I want to tell you about a radio program called Taking God at His Word that airs on Sunday mornings from 6:30 to 7:30, right here on Delaware 105.9. Psalm 19:7 tells us the testimony of God makes wise the simple. We need wisdom and conviction in this uncertain age. So that's what you'll get at Taking God at His Word. Clear, rich, and practical exposition of God's Word, verse by verse, book by book. I hope it will be a blessing to your life.
Waterproofing your deck can be a hassle each season, so stop working and start entertaining with Duradeck, installed by Delmarva Roofing and Coating, the area's preferred installer. Duradeck is the ultimate maintenance-free outdoor deck flooring backed by an industry-leading 10-year warranty. Duradeck is ideal for roof decks, sun decks, balconies, and more. It provides permanent, waterproof protection designed for strength, stability, and slip resistance. Made in America, Duradeck is Delmarva's choice for outdoor deck flooring. Duradeck from Delmarva Roofing and Coating. Find out more at delmarvaroofing.com.
Hi, this is Ed Lester of the Brick Hotel, Restaurant and Tavern in Georgetown on the Circle. If you're looking for a unique and relaxing dining experience, we hope you'll join us at the Brick. Open Tuesday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays with a $10 breakfast buffet.
And check out Tuesday's $6 burger night. Wednesday, $10 steamed shrimp and salad. A $24 three-course prefix menu and half-price bottles of wine. Thursdays, $13 crab cake dinner. And Fridays, $19.99 prime rib. And by the way, if you're stuck planning your office Christmas party, call the Brick. They can make it painless for you.
We'll see you at the Brick, where things are happening west of the beach.
Come take advantage of the Sunfest savings at Berlin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Take $12,000 off with any trade on select new 2015 Ram trucks in stock. Crew cabs, 4x4s, even the Ram 1500. Take $12,000 off at MSRP. And Berlin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram will take any trade, even if you still owe thousands on it. New 2015 Jeep Renegade Sport, just $249 per month lease. Have a job clearing $350 a week? We want to approve your credit today. 2015 Chrysler 200, Grand Caravans, even the all-new Jeep Renegade, just $249 per month lease.
Remember, Jim wants to see you in the coolest small town in America, Berlin, Maryland.
Berlin Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Old Ocean City Boulevard, Berlin, Maryland.
Qualified buyers. Credit may affect terms. Balance of trade carried over to new loan. Discount based on MSRP of $47,835 with $4,500 factory rebates to dealer and $7,500 dealer discount. Model number DS6H98. Renegade 42-month, 10,000 mile per year lease. No security deposit plus tax tag dealer processing. Offers not in combination.
Let's face it, saving money isn't always fun. It's great to save money, but sometimes you want to treat yourself to dinner at a new restaurant or indulge at the spa. You can save money and enjoy life with GetItHalfOff.com. Every week, brand new featured offers hit the online shelves of GetItHalfOff.com. Your life at half price. GetItHalfOff.com.
This week's featured offers include Bottom of the Hill Bar and Grill in Rising Sun, Casa de Pizza in Laurel, Delaware, and Jason's Woods in Lancaster.
Windows 10? Does this mean I have to buy something else? Did you know Windows 10 is free for the next year if you have a Windows 7 or 8 computer? Microsoft has big plans for Windows 10 and would like to have everyone on the same operating system, so it's willing to give it to you for free. Windows 10 is easy and fast with the best features from Windows 7 and 8. Is it right for you? Call the experts at Response Computer Group. Response Computer Group is your local source for PC tune-ups, virus removal, and computer and laptop repairs.
Hi, I'm Randy Ennis, owner of Response Computer Group. When you've done everything you've thought of to fix your computer and it's still not working right, it's time to bring it to a company that has the experience to make it work right. We're located in Milford off Airport Road in the Independence Common Business Park. Just turn left before you reach the Boys and Girls Club. Response Computer Group has been serving businesses and consumers in the Delaware community since 1983. Give us a call at 335-3400 or visit us online at rcgweb.com.
Talking about something kind of heavy duty here this morning. I was just going over the obituary and the GoFundMe site for a little 7-year-old boy, Long Neck Elementary student that died last week, Nathan Leppo. The Cape Gazette has a story about him as well today. They published his obituary, which I read to you on the air, and they've also published a story here. Police are investigating Nathan's sudden death in Oak Orchard. Master Corporal Gary Fournier declined any further comment. That's to the newspaper. I'm reading Melissa Steele's article. It also says Kimberly Chandler, the Division of Forensic Science, said the cause and manner of Nathan's death are not available. Joe Smack, spokesman for the Department of Children, Youth, and Their Families, would not say whether the department was involved because of confidentiality. Brianna Leppo is the aunt that started the GoFundMe site, which you can help with to pay for his funeral costs. Here's what the newspaper says of this. Brianna said she and her 3 boys spent a lot of time with Nathan, going to sporting events and playing games. She said she's going to miss their time together. Quote, he was always very positive and he was very loved, she said. Brianna said Nathan was staying in an Oak Orchard home of someone not related to her when he died. More in a moment. It's 6:30. Delaware 105.9 News. Kelly Steele is here. Kelly, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dan. A Newcastle County lawmaker wants the federal government to investigate the shooting death of Jeremy McDole, a man in a wheelchair, killed by Wilmington police officers last week. Councilman Jay Street is asking U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch and the FBI to investigate McDole's death. Police say a witness saw McDole shoot himself, and he then refused to disarm and show his hands before the officers opened fire. The race for mayor in Wilmington expands to 4 candidates as a very familiar name announces he's running in next year's Democratic primary. Wilmington City Council President Theo Gregory says he's running for mayor in 2016. Your forecast today, mostly cloudy, humid, a high of 78. CBS News covers the nation and the world next. News time is 6:31.
CBS News Update. What to do about a couple of international flashpoints. President Obama and Russia's Vladimir Putin sat down to discuss them in New York City, their first formal sit-down in more than 2 years. White House correspondent Pam Coulter.
Administration officials had said it would be irresponsible for the president to pass up the chance to meet with his Russian counterpart if there was a chance progress could be made in solving the crises in Ukraine and Syria. Vladimir Putin called the 90-minute session useful and frank, and later told reporters Russia has not ruled out participating in airstrikes against ISIS targets in Syria.
Vladimir Putin later said, strange as it may seem, there were many common points in his talks with President Obama. Correspondent Margaret Brennan.
U.S. officials said this was about taking the temperature of Vladimir Putin. This was about judging whether he truly wants to fight ISIS like he says he does, or whether he simply is trying to keep his ally Bashar al-Assad in power in Syria.
CBS News Update. I'm Dave Barrett.
Southern States of Milford has been serving Lower Delaware for over 60 years, keeping your lawns and gardens green and beautiful year-round. Southern States of Milford is your source for Echo, Steel and Exmark power equipment. Southern States of Milford is the place for agricultural feed, pet, outdoor and fuel needs. Need mulch, fertilizer and landscaping supplies? Your local experts at Southern States of Milford have you covered. Call 422-8066. Southern States of Milford on Williamsville Road. Farmer owned since 1923.
Are you a caregiver to an adult with any type of physical disability, or perhaps to a senior in frail health or in early stage dementia? If this is you, please listen. Easter Seals adult daycare services were designed with you, the family caregiver, in mind. Easter Seals can care for your family member during the day so that you can experience peace of mind while enjoying work or rest. And while you're away, you can trust Easter Seals to provide an active, nurturing environment where your family member is not only cared for, but is busy enjoying activities of their choice, while under the supervision of a nurse and activity coordinator. Easter Seals has been a trusted name in healthcare services in Sussex County since 1961. To take a tour of their recently expanded adult daycare facility in Georgetown, or to learn more about this very affordable solution in adult daycare, call 302-253-1111. That's 302-253-1111. Or log on to cool1013.com and check them out under recommended businesses.
Hi, I'm Abby Pobuski from State Farm in Wilmington. Every day, 7 teens die from car crashes due to inexperience, indecision, speed, distraction, or drowsiness. These deaths are preventable. That's why Smart Drive created a free online program that helps young drivers using games, videos, and real-life scenarios to prepare them for facing real driving situations. It's online, free, and you can win great prizes like college scholarships and gift cards, all for learning to be a smarter driver. For more information, visit smartdriveusa.org.
Hey neighbor, it's me, that guy 2 desks away that never takes a sick day. Seriously, you can always count on me to show up even if I feel terrible. Which reminds me, I have the flu, and if you're one of the 63% of people that didn't get their flu shot, you can get it from me. You really should get a flu shot at Rite Aid, where you'll also get a free cold and flu protection plan to protect you from people like me. Another reason Rite Aid says with us, it's personal.
Flu vaccines available while supplies last. Age restrictions apply in some states. See pharmacist for detail.
It's time now for the Delaware 105.9 Fishing Report with John Butler, heard every morning at this time.
Good morning, anglers. Mother Nature not giving us a break anytime soon. The Weather Center keeping an eye on a tropical depression that could become a tropical storm in the next couple days. It's slowly making its way towards us. Now, in addition to that, a mix of a cold front and low pressure from the Gulf means we really have to keep our eye on the storm. One thing is certain, us anglers may have to keep the rods and reels on the shelves for one more week. Some boats did manage to go out today from the Ocean City Fishing Center. Got no reports from them yet. The good news is the bait fish are still around. Captain Joe at Lewis Harbor Marina reported mullet and silver sides in the canal right in front of the marina. If the bait fish are there, so are the fish. Water temperature 70 degrees as well. Now, I know the weather won't stop the teams fishing in Cast for a Cure this weekend, and why not? They're raising money for a great cause. I spoke to the tournament organizer yesterday. She tells me while the weather doesn't look great, they are still accepting team registrations for the weekend event. Proceeds, of course, benefiting breast cancer awareness. All right, tight lines, be safe out there. I'm John Butler with the Delaware 105.9 Fishing Report.
We're talking about something in the community is very, very heartbreaking, the sudden death of a 7-year-old boy last week. We first heard about this last week from parents of Long Neck Elementary students. The school had made grief counselors or whatever available to children who were friends with this little guy. And that's when we first started hearing about Nathan Leppo, the little 7-year-old boy. And the school sent out a notice from the superintendent. Condolences to this child's loved ones, friends, and teachers, and sympathies with the Long Neck community as it copes with this terrible tragedy. Those were the words of the school. And again, just before the news break, I was saying the aunt, the Cape Gazette story about Brianna, Nathan's aunt, is the one who set up a GoFundMe site so they could pay for the funeral. As Brianna said, Nathan was staying in an Oak Orchard home of someone not related to her when he died. Who knows? That could be anything, right? But again, I just wanted to let you know that this little guy's funeral will be held Friday, October 2nd at Parcell Funeral Home. 4 o'clock is the funeral visitation from 2 to 4. And I have a link to the GoFundMe site. We have a message out to Brianna, the aunt, about her GoFundMe site and a little bit about this guy. I want to talk more about him. And if we hear back and she's able, we would like to speak with her on the radio. That's all I have. Okay, good morning, Delaware 105.9, 839-1059. Meanwhile, and I don't know if it's directly related or not, it just so happens that in Oak Orchard, Delaware, there's going to be a community church vigil on Friday. No, actually Sunday night, 6 o'clock, at a place called the Community Church of Oak Orchard. Now, this is separate, but it's also, I don't know, it may be related in some way. But in Oak Orchard, Delaware, on Sunday night, a community prayer vigil. And here's what the Community Church of Oak Orchard on Oak Orchard Road is saying in a flyer. We will gather together in unity to pray for our community. We'll pray for healing for Oak Orchard. We'll pray for all areas of rescue who are working diligently to help to remove as much as possible of what illegal situations are happening here. We will pray over the hurts and peace to be restored. We'll pray together. And I heard from another gentleman who no longer lives in Oak Orchard but grew up there. And I'm going to read to you what this guy said to me. This is the community I grew up in. I never once considered that it would be this bad that a church would have to pray for a better place to raise children and grandchildren. Crime is running rampant. He's talking about Oak Orchard. Oak Orchard. Crime is running rampant. This is what a guy said to me via email. Drugs are killing people. Addicts are committing more crime in this area to support the addiction. Kids are running to and fro unsupervised, and the list goes on and on. We need to take our community back. No, I don't live there anymore, but I do live close enough to still care. This is where I was raised and went to school. You always thought it was the city, but look around you people in Oak Orchard, Long Neck, Millsboro area. It's time to step up and do something, the letter says. I call on all my family and friends on and off Facebook to go to this vigil and pray because I believe prayer works, he says. Don't let Oak Orchard Community Church do this alone. It's your community too. Be there, do something. He says people of all ages are dying around us. Why? Drugs, alcohol, robbing, killing one another for the most senseless things. Please take time to come together and make a difference. I'll leave his name out of it for the time being. But that was a letter I received over the weekend. Someone promoting that event on Sunday at that particular church. All right. I don't know what else to do except open up the phone lines at 839-1059. If you live in the Oak Orchard area, do business in the Oak Orchard and Long Neck area, is this true? Do you agree with what this guy just said to me? Or not? It's a heavy topic first thing in the morning, Dan. 6:42 on a Tuesday morning, and I'm sorry. I just have to talk about the reality of what's going on. Is this the reality, is my question to you. Wake up. Is anybody awake? Phone line is open, 839-1059. The picture being painted of Oak Orchard. Well, you just heard the picture. Crime running rampant, drugs, addicts, more crime, addiction, kids running rampant. Is that what's going on? In the back bays of Sussex County, Oak Orchard? Is that the picture you have of your community? I remember Gene. Remember caller Gene of Oak Orchard? Dan, I retired from Philly. I'm sorry it all followed me down here. He would say to me as he talked about his shed being broken into and the crime in his neighborhood. All right. This is Jeff, runs Coin Laundry, one of my great callers. Hello, Jeff. Thanks for joining us at 839-1059. This is not a private club. We take all calls. Jeff, hi.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Yeah, one of our laundromats are in that Long Neck area, and we do know there is an issue with drugs up there, especially heroin. We'll find little bags on the floor. I don't know if they're like half an inch by half an inch, like a little tiny bag.
Yeah, heroin bag.
I never knew what it was. But we run our store on magnetic locks, timers. You know, it's not super high tech, but it helps us out so we don't have to be there exactly all the time. Well, one morning I came in and at least 6 washers were filled, and they stopped. One looked like it needed one more quarter. One dryer was running, loaded. And I said, "What is going on?" Purse sitting there on the trash can right by the changer. And at first I'm thinking someone got abducted, everything looks weird, So I'm like, let me check the cameras. I checked the cameras. What happened? They walked outside, I guess, to do something, got locked out. So instead of coming back super early in the morning, they just didn't come back. So I said, well, I can't leave all my machines full, so I'm finishing them, throwing them in the dryer, trying to get them to a point where I could at least bag them up. Well, getting to the point with the drugs, the purse is sitting there. And I said, well, I need to get in touch with these people. I got to get to work, do other jobs, So there was a customer, and I said, I want you to witness. I have cameras, just in case this person says anything. So I dumped the purse out on the counter, on the folding table, start going through it, looking for a cell phone, looking for something where I could call.
ID or something, right?
Yeah. So I'm looking, there's no money, there's no nothing. I'm going through all the pockets, 20 bags of heroin in the purse. I was like, no wonder they didn't come back. They're all strung out. So I put everything back in the purse, throw it in the office, and I'm getting ready to leave now. I said, I'm going to grab all the clothes in the dryers, throw them in trash bags, and just throw them in the back room. They can call me. Well, no sooner than I'm getting fed up, getting ready to leave, they come storming in, 3 of them. All she asked for, where's my purse? Where's my purse? I said, well, I have your purse. I said, I do want to let you know I did go through your purse looking, for some contact information. She grabs the purse, runs out to the car, then comes back in all happy. And, so I just told him, I said, look, I don't appreciate
What do you think she went out? Do you think she went out and got a hit?
I don't think she did. I just think they were probably so worried about not having it.
Oh, happy that the 20 bags of heroin were still there.
Yeah, because I didn't throw it away. I mean, I felt like it wasn't my business to throw it away. I didn't call the police either. I mean, I look back. I mean, should I have called the police? I don't know. I just told them not to come back. I said, you don't look like a regular customer. You tied up all my machines. You didn't come back. You should have been more aware of the situation. But the bad part was I had put like $20 in to finish her clothes. And she just started grabbing her stuff. I said, where are you going? I said, you're going to pay me back for doing your stuff. I should charge you by the hour. And she's like, really? She started arguing with me. So I picked up the phone, and I know a couple state police officers. One's actually in the narcotics division. I said, I'll call my buddy right now. And the guy said, give him his $20. So they gave him the $20 and they left.
Right. And insane. But you often see those little empty baggies?
Yeah, it's it's not on a daily basis, but, I do a lot of the cleaning up there as well. I pretty much do everything except for the weekends. And sometimes when I'm emptying the trash or doing something, I'll see a baggie near the trash can, like they forgot to throw it away, or, on the floor, or, they didn't flush the toilet and it's floating. But it's at least once every couple of months or once a month, I see evidence that it's being done there. Yeah. Or they washed their clothes and it fell out the pocket or something.
Dude, it's there's tons of people on heroin. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible.
Jeff, thanks for the call. Interesting story. That was quite a tale. Really. Customer's purse with heroin in it. 839-1059. I'm asking you about Oak Orchard in Long Neck. And guy says he grew up in that community. He would never consider it to be as bad as it is now. A community overrun with drugs, addicts, crime. Is that the Oak Orchard and Long Neck area you know? You can contribute and give us your opinion. That's why I'm here. I'm not preaching at you. I want to hear what you think. I'm asking you a question about drugs in the Oak Orchard, Long Neck area and crime. 839-1059. Here's Robin Bryson. Good morning, Robin.
Dan, traffic's been running pretty well around the region this morning. You'll see the volume building a little bit as you work your way in and out of Dover, certainly along Route 13. Have had a little bit of fog hanging around some spots this morning, and it's not widespread. And what we've seen hasn't been real thick either, but not saying that there aren't some spots where you have to adjust your driving because of reduced visibility. There's something to keep in mind as you head out the door this morning. In Sussex County, we're running pretty well. Route 16 through Ellendale, haven't seen any delays or problems there. Route 1 along the coast doing all right, around 5 points, and right down past Route 24. I'm Robin Bryson with Traffic Watch on Delaware 105.9.
People you know.
One Jared Morris.
From right here.
Wow. Is it appropriate, in your opinion?
Delaware 105.9.
Let's go to the weather forecast now. Delaware 105.9. Our meteorologist is Steve Williams. Steve.
Today, mostly cloudy and humid with a high 78. It'll be warm and humid tonight. Periods of rain and a thunderstorm. Low 71. Periods of rain tomorrow. High 77. Breezy tomorrow night. Occasional rain and drizzle. Low 62. And then Thursday, windy and cooler. On and off rain and drizzle with a high 65. Thursday night, cloudy and windy, milder in the evening, some rain and shower activity, low down to 59. I'm Steve Williams in the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center.
68 in Lewis, Circle in Georgetown, now 66.
Sales, service, training, there's no better place to come than Shooter's Choice. Shooter's Choice offers you everything you'll need from training to shooting sports, firearms, and accessories. Browse their large selection of shotguns, hard-to-find guns, supplies, and accessories for men and women. If they don't have it, they can get it. Shooter's Choice offers professional service for every gun they sell. They also offer several firearm safety courses and Delaware's concealed carry class monthly, with information on all the safety and instructional classes you need to operate your handgun safely. Don't miss visiting shooterschoicede.com and take advantage of their weekday specials, like half-price range time, firearms and ammunition specials, and even accessory specials. Shooter's Choice, Delaware's first choice in firearms. Open every day and located across from the Walmart in Dover. Online at shooterschoicede.com.
Always on target. Shooter's Choice. Yeah, yeah. Shooter's Choice. Always on target.
Identity theft is a crime that affects millions of Americans each year. Defend yourself against identity theft at a free community shred event sponsored by the Delaware Attorney General's Office. Bring up to 3 boxes of documents with personal info and shred them on Saturday, October 3rd from 9 to 1 at the BJ's parking lot at the Peninsula Crossing Shopping Center on Route 113 in Millsboro. That's Saturday, October 3rd from 9 to 1. Learn more by visiting attorneygeneral.delaware.gov or call 1-800-220-5424. That's
That's a sigh of relief because summer is over and fall is here, and I'm back at the Cottage Cafe in Bethany Beach. Join me this Thursday, October 1st, as I broadcast the Susan Monday Show live from the Cottage Cafe. I can't wait. I have been missing all of the great specials at the Cottage Cafe, especially the $5.99 daily bar special, as well as the $5.99 Poffenburger. So since I haven't seen a lot of you since, last spring, I'm hoping you're going to come out and join me for this live broadcast so that we can get caught up at the Cottage Cafe on Route 1 South in Bethany Beach.
Is the exterior of your home covered with dirt and grime? Do you have black streaks running down your roof? If so, call the Good Neighbor Professional Home Services. The Good Neighbor is quickly becoming the go-to source for power washing in Sussex County. The Good Neighbor's proprietary cleaning method will safely and effectively clean your home and property without the damage normally associated with high-pressure cleaning. The Good Neighbor offers house washing, roof and gutter cleaning, decks, patio, and flat surface cleaning. The Good Neighbor is equipped to handle large and small jobs, and they offer group packages to you and your neighbors to make their services even more affordable.
My name's Chris. My wife and I bought a new home in January. The house had not been occupied for 3 years, and it was green. It needed help. We needed help. We called Mike, the Good Neighbor. His guys came out and power washed everything. House siding, windows, vinyl fence. They even helped restore a redwood hot tub. Our house went from eyesore to neighborhood envy. We definitely recommend the Good Neighbor.
Call Mike Capus at 302-228-9910. That's 302-228-9910. Or online, goodneighbor-bethany.com.
Take a behind-the-scenes peek at the Delmarva restaurant scene on Sip and Bite with the Rehoboth Foodie every Saturday from 3 to 5 on Delaware 105.9. Local chefs, bartenders, restaurant owners, beer and wine professionals, and foodies in the know will fill you in on everything breakfast, lunch, dinner, and beyond. Sip and Bite with the Rehoboth Foodie is brought to you by 1776 Restaurant, a revolutionary dining experience in Rehoboth's Midway Center, and the Pint Pub and Eatery in downtown Millsboro, where you're invited to drop in, take a break, and travel back to years gone by. So grab your knife and fork and join me, the Rehoboth Foodie, for a sip and a bite every Saturday afternoon from 3 to 5 on Delaware 105.9. You can also stream the show live on your phone or your computer simply by logging on to Delaware1059.com. But be careful, it might make you hungry.
How bad is the area in Oak Orchard, Long Neck, in terms of drugs and crime, in your opinion? 839-1059. Maybe you've lived there for a long time. Have you seen a change? Is it true what some of these people are saying? I notice a church in Oak Orchard on Sunday is having a prayer vigil. One of the things they want to gather and pray for, it says on the flyer, they would like to help remove as much of the illegal situations as possible that are happening in that area. They actually use that phrase, illegal situations happening here. And then another man has weighed in, saying he grew up in that area, doesn't live there anymore, but he feels it's his home community. And is just going on about crime running rampant. What he says, drugs are killing people, addicts are committing more crime to support their addiction, kids are running unsupervised. It says people of all ages are dying around us. Drugs, alcohol, robbing, killing. Talking about an area of Sussex County off Route 24, the Back Bay area, Long Neck, Oak Orchard. The angry white female is here. Hello.
Good morning, Dan. Yeah, I was talking with some folks at the church a few weeks ago, and they said with the needles all over the syringes on the ground, they said it's terrible. But have you seen the big poppy field there in Oak Orchard?
No. I have not seen the poppy fields of Oak Orchard.
No, and there aren't any in the United States. Where is this coming in from, folks? When, and Dan, how long have I been talking about this? We have got to shut our borders and seal them, and that includes stop this immigration. The marijuana is coming from South America, Central America. We've got the Afghanistan heroin coming over. We're taking all these Syrians in. We've got Somalis here. We've got folks in the Middle East. We can't pray this away, folks. We've got to demand that this government stop all immigration. And that's the only way we're going to stop these drugs.
I'm going to just say it. I don't think the immigration issue stops the drugs.
Really? Where's it growing? Where is it happening in the country? Where are they growing the poppy fields, and where are they having the mass?
All it takes is the entrepreneurial American to go there and get it and bring it back.
Again, he's got to go through customs.
Right. Well, that's why they sneak in. It doesn't take an immigrant to bring drugs into America. You know that.
This is
the guy who's dealing, the dealers in Oak Orchard or anywhere else aren't from Somalia or Afghanistan. They're from the United States of America, and they're going to get it through their supplier, who's probably some guy in Philly who gets it from some other guy, and it might, down the line, eventually have been grown somewhere else, but it might have been cultivated and brought in by an American. We don't know that.
It could have, but that's a very small possibility. Most of this is coming from outside of our borders. In fact, all of it is.
Right. And, well, so are the cars I buy, and so is everything in the United States we buy, right?
Okay, well, we'll sit here for the next 100 years and pray this away and let everyone from the whole world just pour into our country and wonder why all our kids are stuck on heroin.
I see it as two different issues. I don't think it's the immigrant population necessarily any more than any other population. Like I said, if there's a demand for drugs, aren't the entrepreneurial drug dealers here going to go get it?
Yeah, but they're going to get it from the easiest sources, and it's got to be coming over the border and through our immigration from overseas.
Got it.
It's not coming from America. Now, I'm not saying
all right. AWF, it's a hard break. I got it. Back in a minute with your phone calls. Good morning, Kelly.
Delaware 105.9 News Time is 6:59. Good morning, everyone. From meteorologist Steve Williams, mostly cloudy, very humid today. A high of 78. Seaford voters approving a referendum vote allowing that city to borrow money for a solar energy system for the city's wastewater treatment plant. 125 ballots cast in yesterday's special election, including 4 absentee ballots. 102 people voted for the proposed borrowing, while 23 people voted against it. The American Civil Liberties Union files a lawsuit accusing Delaware State Police of terrorizing a disabled veteran and his quadriplegic wife during a 2014 drug raid in Claymont. The lawsuit, filed Monday, alleges that police used excessive force against 54-year-old Ruther Hayes of Rehoboth and his 45-year-old wife, Lisa, while executing a search warrant aimed at 2 of her nephews. From the first town in the first state, this is WXDE Lewis.
Delaware 105.9.
It's 7 o'clock.
CBS News, I'm Frank Sedapani. The controversy created by undercover videos showing Planned Parenthood officials talking about research using tissue from aborted fetuses will be front and center on Capitol Hill a few hours from now. And CBS's Stephen Portnoy tells us today's hearing won't be the last.
Outgoing House Speaker John Boehner tells CBS News he'll seek to form a select committee
to investigate these horrific videos.
But Missouri's Attorney General, a Democrat, says he's found no wrongdoing by Planned Parenthood in his state, and 55% in a CBS News New York Times poll say the group should receive federal funding.
Planned Parenthood President Cecile Richards has released her prepared remarks for today's hearing. CBS's Hannah Daniels has some of the main points.
Richards aggressively defends her organization, saying the practice is just a small part of what it does for millions of women across the country. She adds Planned Parenthood is, quote, proud of its limited role in supporting fetal tissue research.
President Obama and Russia's Vladimir Putin shook hands, but a meeting last night in New York did not narrow their differences over the civil war in Syria. CBS's Pam Coulter has that.
Putin called the 90-minute session useful and frank, and later told reporters Russia has not ruled out participating in airstrikes against ISIS targets in Syria.
Russia is helping the Assad government to fight ISIS and other groups. President Obama wants Assad out of the picture. A man on the run for almost a quarter century isn't running anymore. Live to CBS News correspondent Vicki Barker.
5-year-old Paul Irvin Jackson was arrested in Mexico, apparently after a tip-off prompted by an episode of CNN's The Hunt with John Walsh featured his case. Oregon police say Jackson and his brother Vance Roberts kidnapped and tortured 2 young women they used as sex slaves. The brothers were arrested in 1990 but went on the run. Roberts surrendered 9 years ago and is now serving a 108-year prison sentence. Jackson will be brought back to Oregon to stand trial. Frank?
A drive-by shooting last night in Chicago took the lives of a woman and her mother. The woman's infant child and 2 male relatives were wounded. Deputy Police Chief Eugene Roy.
You have an innocent family coming home. Somebody opens fire. In a second, 2 generations of that child's family were wiped out.
In Atlanta, supporters rallied to the cause of Kelly Gissendaner, the woman who's scheduled to die tonight for getting a lover to kill her husband. Nikki Roberts met Gissendaner in prison.
This is a human being that's not asking to come back into society. She's just seeking mercy to be able to remain in prison.
Retired Detective Doug Davis investigated the case. He sees no reason to call off the execution.
I think justice is going to be served.
The Georgia Parole Board meets today to hold a clemency hearing. A spending bill that would prevent a government shutdown is expected to clear the Senate today and the House tomorrow. Financial markets overseas moved lower overnight after yesterday's 2% sell-off on Wall Street, but S&P futures are up 10 points. This is CBS News.
Today's Porkcast is looking mighty delicious. We'll have some smoky hot pork chops starting at around 5 p.m. with a cool cucumber tomato salad breezing in from the north at about 6. It'll be a beautiful evening in the tri-state area, perfect for grilling. So be sure to pick up some New York pork chops on your way home. For your up-to-the-minute recipe Porkcast, visit porkbeinspired.com/Porkcast. Pork, be inspired. This message funded by America's pork producers and the Pork Checkoff.
Meet Vince. Vince hurt himself mountain biking on Saturday.
Because weekend warrior.
Because noob.
Hey.
Vince is supposed to host an important presentation, but he's not going anywhere in that cast. What should he do?
Rhetorical question.
Vince should try GoToMeeting, the simple way to host meetings online, complete with video conferencing and screen sharing. Send out a meeting link and anyone can join from any computer, tablet, or smartphone. Just takes a click.
Where do I sign up?
Visit GoToMeeting.com to start your free 30-day trial. That's GoToMeeting.com.
Delaware 105.9 news time is 7:04. Good morning, everybody. A dramatic water rescue in Ocean City, Maryland, prompts a warning from Rehoboth Beach Patrol.
The surf is extremely dangerous and the rip currents are at a high level. We had our beach at red flag, no swimming all last week, so that tells you how dangerous it was. And I don't see it letting up this week.
Captain Kent Buxon telling Delaware 105.9 that the conditions are just too dangerous for anyone to be in the water. The warnings come after 5 people were rescued by a skeleton patrol crew in Ocean City yesterday afternoon. All 5, including 2 children, were rescued and taken to the hospital. They are going to be okay. Kent Buxon says the danger right now is not just being pulled out by the rip currents, but being pulled back in as well.
Not only is it dangerous when you're out there in the rip current in trouble, it's the people have to go out and get you and bring you back in. That is a whole other level of danger because of the size of these waves and the power and the frequency. They're just constantly dropping in on the shoreline.
Rehoboth Beach Patrol is in shutdown mode right now. If someone does not heed the warning and is in need of an emergency rescue, please call 911 immediately. A barricade situation in Somerset County, Maryland, ends peacefully when Maryland State Police arrest a man who fired at police from his home before being taken into custody. The accused is identified as 32-year-old Jamie Colburn of Crisfield. He's charged with numerous offenses, including attempted first-degree murder and first- and second-degree assault. Police say the situation began about 9 o'clock Monday morning when police were called to a home in the 26,000 block of Silver Lane. That's where Colburn was living with his mother. Colburn's mother reported that her son was yelling, screaming, and was possibly suicidal. She also said he was possibly under the influence of a drug and was accessing a room where firearms were located. She had already left the house and nobody else was inside with her son. So police arrived. They set up a perimeter around the house and contact was made via phone with Colburn, who who told police he had an officer in his gun sight and he would kill the first policeman who came through the door. Shortly after 11:30 yesterday, Colburn fired a rifle out a rear window toward two officers on the perimeter. Nobody struck by the round. Then about 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, Colburn walked out the front door of the home, but repeatedly ignored instructions by police about how to surrender. He kept putting his hands into his pockets and pulling them out quickly. Police could not tell if he was armed with a handgun and did not want, apparently, him to return inside the home to the weapons there and continue the barricade. So a tactical trooper on the state team fired a less lethal round, which caused the suspect to stumble. Colburn was then arrested without further incident. That investigation is continuing today. Supporters of a psychiatric hospital in Georgetown are encouraging Sussex County residents to attend a public hearing today on a proposal to build a 90-bed facility. Delaware Health Resources Board will review Sun Behavioral Health's application at today's hearing, which starts at 2 o'clock in the Carter Partnership Center at Del Tech in Georgetown. Delaware 105.9's Joe Irizarry will be at today's hearing, and we'll have more for you this afternoon right here on Delaware 105.9 News and at Delaware1059.com. Delaware 105.9 News time is 7:08. Here's Schofield on sports.
On Monday Night Football, Aaron Rodgers tossed 5 touchdown passes, 3 to Randall Cobb, as the Packers moved to 3-0 after beating Kansas City 38-28. The Chiefs fell to 1-2. In Major League Baseball was the final home game of the season for the Nationals. Max Scherzer gave up 1 run over 8 innings. He didn't allow a hit until the 8th, striking out 10 in the game as Washington cruised past Cincinnati 5-1. The Nats also suspended Jonathan Papelbon for 4 games after Sunday's dugout altercation with Bryce Harper. Papelbon then dropped his appeal of a 3-game suspension from Major League Baseball over plunking Oriole third baseman Manny Machado last week, so Papelbon's season is now over. In Baltimore, the Blue Jays rallied for 2 runs in the 8th and another in the 9th to top the Orioles 4-3. Ryan Flaherty homered for the O's in the loss. And on the high school scoreboard in field hockey, Laurel beat Delmarva Christian 3-0, and St. Thomas More lost to Newark Charter 2-1. In boys soccer, Lake lost at Red Lion 3-0, and Delmarva Christian fell to Salisbury School 3-0. That's Schofield on Sports on Delaware 105.9.
And from the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center, going to be mostly cloudy, very warm, humid, sticky out there today. Some fog in and around some areas, too. All the local school districts in Sussex and Kent counties, also in Newcastle, Delaware, running on time. Kent County, Maryland schools, however, Dan, are 90 minutes late because of the fog today. That's Kent County, Maryland schools.
Yes.
67 degrees everywhere I look right now. Slaughter Beach, downtown Milford, and on the beach in Lewis. I'm Kelly Steele in the Delaware 105.9 newsroom. More of the Dan Gaffney Show coming up on Delaware 105.9.
Is Oak Orchard in the Long Neck area having a drug and crime problem? 839-1059. We told you about the Oak Orchard Community Church having a prayer vigil this Sunday evening on the front lawn of the church, praying for rescue of that community and for folks to help with in the removal of illegal situations going on there. This is Joe in Millsboro. Joe, you grew up there. You don't live in Oak Orchard now, but you have seen some things and have a few things to say about this, right?
Yeah, I do, Dan. I have a gospel music ministry, and from time to time I'm in the Long Neck, Millsboro, Oak Orchard area, singing at different churches and things of that nature. And it just so happened that Oak Orchard Community Church was having their revival this past week, and Sunday, and then I was there Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Friday I received a flyer about the vigil. I'm not sure as to what Pastor Alan Miller spearheaded this off of, but I think it was the camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back was the little guy Nathan that had passed away there in the community, and it's just, and I see it in my own family. The drugs are running rampant. It's the crime is increased tenfold. I'm an old school guy. You know, I graduated in the 69-70 era. When I was a kid running around on a bicycle in the Oak Orchard community, It was everybody knew everybody, and everybody's mom and dad was the ones that could smack you up behind the head if you did something wrong. And it's different today. I mean, the drugs are running rampant. The drug of choice now, as everybody knows, is heroin. You have people just running to and fro, robbing people and killing people. And I think that Pastor Alan Miller is in that community has just said, we need to do something and bring the community together and try to get a handle on this, and prayer.
Right, and you agree, obviously, in having a prayer vigil and just a community.
I do. I'm a born-again Christian, and, like I say, when I was running around as a young kid in that community, I never thought in my whole lifetime that we would be having to have the churches come out and pray for the community because of all the bad things that are going on. And I'm not saying that it's all drug-related, but it's just increasingly getting bad, and I think that the coming together, and it's just not the Oak Orchard community; it's the Long Neck community, Millsboro, everywhere in Lower Sussex County. You always thought that it was in the cities with the increase in crime and drugs and the horrible things that are going on now, but now it's hitting home, and you just kind of like, man, what do we do?
Well, let me ask you something. Do you have any children or grandchildren?
I do. I have 2 daughters and four grandchildren.
Now, how would you feel, you remember riding your bike around Oak Orchard. Is that something you'd let your little kids do today?
Not at all. Not at all. And it's not just the Oak Orchard community. It's just pretty much anywhere, because if I saw a picture the other day of, I don't know where it was on the internet, and it was like, if you want to know where your kids were back when, you could look at somebody's house and see all the bikes out in front of the house. Today, you would be even scared as a parent to even let your kid ride the bike out in front of your house on the sidewalk, afraid that somebody would stop in a van and abduct them, And then the crime rate. I mean, people are getting killed over $5, or a pair of tennis shoes, or it's crazy. It's just, and we can't do it individually. We have to do it collectively as a community, and I don't know. I don't know where to start. Prayer.
Well, I think prayer is going to be a good place to start for the people who are involved in law enforcement and the community, and those who are, if it's an addiction issue, all of that stuff. You
gotta feel so sorry for the law enforcement people that are out there trying to make it right, because 1, their hands are tied. 2, they're understaffed, and 3, they just can't keep up with the increase of crime. I feel for them so much. They don't get enough recognition. They're always under the gun, and it's just that there's no respect for them anymore. As like I say, back when we were growing up, everybody had, as kids, children, everybody had respect for the law, and it's just terrible. So.
All right, Joe.
This is Sunday evening, October the 4th, and I think that Pastor Alan Miller. I hope that you get a chance to talk to him, because he can give you a better idea, because he's right in the mix of things there.
Yeah, I actually have a call out to him. If we hear from him, we're going to put him on the air today. Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. He is a fantastic person, and he's done a lot for that Oak Orchard community. And this is his baby, and he spearheaded this, and he saw the need that everybody else is, seeing, and it's just the idea of stepping up to the plate. And I challenge all the other churches in the area too. There's a lot of other churches in the Long Neck, Oak Orchard, Millsboro area to get together. Join us in this vigil on October the 4th.
Got it.
It's at 6 o'clock right on the front lawn of the Oak Orchard Community Church. It's in Oak Orchard, across from the Indian River Fire Hall.
Right on. Joe, thank you for talking to us. Thanks. Good perspective today. That's Joe Dawson. Joe, obviously talking about growing up there and how different it is now. We're talking about a community in our area that Is it fair to put them in the spotlight any more than any other community? I don't know. I'm asking if you live there, Oak Orchard, Long Neck, whatever. What's your view on crime, drugs in your neighborhood? 839-1059. 839-1059. I invite your call. You may say, I live here, it's great, this is a bunch of baloney. I don't know. You may want to give us an honest assessment of what you think. If you do business there, work there, live there, whatever, have any kind of opinion about this alleged decline of Oak Orchard area off of Route 24. Fine community, great people live there. However, do you have a problem? 839-1059. This is the Dan Gaffney program. Broadcasting to you every morning, 5:30 a.m. till 10. 5:30 a.m. till 10. Right here on 105.9. Also our app, Android app, Apple app. You can listen to us anywhere on the go using your cell phone. And we are streaming on YouTube. I got to tell you this. We have a 3-camera setup here that we've been experimenting with. And you can see us if you're going to YouTube. Just search The Dan Gaffney Show. It's a live stream. Harry in Georgetown talking about Oak Orchard. Hello, Harry.
Yeah, good morning, Dan.
Hi.
It's getting so bad down that neck of the woods. I go down to the hardware store at Long Neck quite a bit, and they got to keep the bathrooms locked now because of the kids going in there and doing drugs and stuff. And the little sub shop right
kids.
down.
It's not just kids, man. What do you think? Kids only?
It's adults too, but even the little sub shop right down 2-3 stores down, they got an out of order sign on their bathroom because of what's going on. And rural farms right there at Oak Orchard. My buddy's called the cops several times, and they know it's a big drug area, but it
what's
seems like
happening? Wait a minute. Let me just back up a little bit. So you're saying the hardware store has problems with people doing drugs in the bathroom, and the other store down the street, and
yes, sir, the True Value right there in Long Neck. You go in there, and now there's a sign to use the bathroom. Please see an attendant to get the key.
Right.
Maybe the state cops and everything else, and that's what gets me. They know what's going on. Why can't they do something about it?
Because it's too big. That's my thought. It's just overwhelming. I don't think people really realize.
Well, you get down there to that drug clinic and Food Line Shopping Center, and they're wrapped around the building getting their shots for the drugs.
Yeah, actually, the methadone, probably a liquid.
And they're coming in taxi cabs with our tax dollars paying for it.
You think so? Right?
Oh,
you think it's a Medicaid situation, giving them a ride?
Mm-hmm.
Medicaid transport or something? Is that your thought?
That's what I feel about it.
Is there really a line out the building to get in?
Oh, yes. 2 or 3 times a day. First thing in the morning, they're clear around back of the building.
Really?
And you talk to Rite Aid, moved out of the shopping center and got their own place by Wawa now. And the old elderly people, they were scared to go get their drugs because they're lined up for that methadone clinic, and they're worried about somebody attacking them for their drugs.
Well, isn't that basically a good sign, though? If you see people at the methadone clinic, that means that's a line of people trying to get clean, maybe?
Something else has got to be done besides that because it's not working.
Right. Believe me, I've done plenty of shows on methadone, right? And we've talked about the pros and cons with people about that as well.
But it's sad, but that is a bad neck of the woods down there. Where I got a buddy of mine's trying to sell a house, and he's playing heck trying to sell it.
Really? All right. Well, Harry, look, you're honest with us. Thank you very much for the call.
All righty, Dan.
Now, here's Dave in Harrington. We're talking about, now you're in Harrington, but we're talking about Oak Orchard, Delaware, which is off Route 24, Oak Orchard, Long Neck area. Very nice area. But is it overrun with a drug problem? Hello, Dave.
Good morning, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. The drugs are taking over, and most people are turning the deaf ear and deaf eyes to the problem. When they see something, they don't do anything about it. several years ago, I was down to Greenwood Library, and I was showing Drug Wars, reference to Mexico, and a friend of mine down in...
Right, you were showing this video in the library?
Yeah, and the title was Drug Wars. And I have a friend, Glenn Spencer. He flies the Mexican border every month and takes videos and so forth. So he sent me one of his videos, and it was very amusing, interesting to see how these drugs are taking over, and the people are the drug cartel. It was so bad in one town that the sheriff resigned within 6 months. He would have to go with a body, different ones on the back of his pickup with machine guns, and it was that bad. He was threatened so much, and 6 months' time he resigned. But drugs are not going to get better. They're just going to get worse. What people's going to have to do is start standing together, banding together, and start getting this problem solved. If you don't stand up for it, it's just going to get worse and worse, and you're going to lose what you have.
All right, Dave. Thanks for the call. Let me go to Z in Rehoboth Beach. Hi, Z. Good morning.
Morning, Dan. Dan, I've been harping on this subject for so long, I feel like I'm a parrot. But, to me, it's a very clear solution to this problem, or at least an attempt at a solution to this problem, because all we've been doing up to now is talk about it. There's a drug problem here, there's a drug problem there. We know that. But how do you deal with it? And the way I look at it is at the present time, the people that are on drugs, like these people that are going to the methadone clinic and so forth, these people are now victims of the drug problem. They're victims because once you get hooked on that crap, it's very hard to get off of it. And they become the victims. We've got to do something about the dealers. That's how you do it. If you give the punishment, if they make the punishment severe enough on the dealers, then the dealers will say, hey, this isn't worth my while to do this. I'm not getting paid enough to take this risk. And they'll stop dealing. And once they stop dealing, guess what? The users stop using. And it won't have a drug problem anymore. And you work your way right up the line from the very lowest level dealers that deal to these people that are going to these clinics and so forth, and going, these users that are filling up our jails for these offenses and ruining their lives. You go to the dealers and say, okay, I don't know how much you're making, but you're not driving around in Cadillacs and Rolls Royces. You're barely making enough money, if anything, to get by on. If you get caught dealing, you're going to get 15 years in jail. Now, anybody with half a brain would stop dealing if they were faced with that kind of a penalty. And then when that person stops dealing, then the person that he gets his stuff from is going to have a hard time finding someone else, and he's either going to have to take the risk himself or he's going to have to stop dealing, and you just work your way right up the line. And that's the way you got to do it.
Do we have to have massive amounts of treatment to help these addicts as well, and coupled with this?
Yeah, coupled with that, right. And then all the money we're spending on other things, spend on helping these people that are now hooked get well and do all these things simultaneously. Just like closing the borders. You close the borders. The first thing you do is you close the border before you start worrying about what to do with the people that are here. If you don't close the border first, they'll just keep coming in. And I'm not blaming this on the borders now. Don't get me wrong. I'm just talking with dealing now. You deal with the people that are dealing, and you give them such penalties that they'll say it's not worth their while to do it. And you work your way right up the line until the people. It'll even get back to the borders. Eventually. It'll get back to the borders when they say nobody's going to bring in 50,000 kilos of whatever when they say, what am I going to do with it? Nobody here wants to get rid of it for me.
Z, let me bring back to like a local personal level here. We heard from a caller, Harry, who had in his mind that because there's a methadone clinic, he said, this is what he said. He said, some of the seniors and other people are afraid to go around there in that shopping center. Is that a rational fear, do you think?
No, I don't really think it's a rational fear. I think it's these people are hooked and they're using methadone instead of. I mean, I don't believe in methadone. I really don't.
I don't either.
it's not good. I've heard such bad stories about it. I've heard of people being on methadone for years and years and years. And if you got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning in order to get down to the methadone clinic and get a hit before you can go to work for years and years, that's not getting well. That's not getting well. Getting well is going to a long-term rehab and drying out and getting counseling and so forth. And even that doesn't work 100% of the time, but it works a lot of the time. And a lot of people will say, well, you can't get clean unless you want to get clean. And that's true to a certain extent, but sometimes when you're in these rehabs, you begin to get the message that, you didn't want to get clean maybe when you went in there, but now you're hearing things, now you do want to get clean. And so your thinking changes. And once your thinking changes, then your actions start changing.
Right.
And that's the only way to do it. It's the only way to do it.
Thank you, Z.
Okay.
727, Delaware 105.9, 839-1059. Traffic Watch, and on the line with us, Robin Bryson. Robin, what's up?
Dan, traffic still not doing too badly this morning. Again, a little bit of fog hanging around some spots. Not a blanket over the area, but don't be surprised if you hit a pocket where you've got to adjust your driving because of reduced visibility. Been running pretty well from what we've seen this morning. In and out of Georgetown along Route 113. And not doing badly around Route 9 or around Route 404. If you're traveling Route 1 along the coast, you're doing all right around 5 points. And down past Route 24, even down by Rehoboth Avenue, just very light activity all the way around there this morning. Route 1 along the Indian River Inlet Bridge also in real good shape in both directions this morning. I'm Robin Bryson with Traffic Watch on Delaware 105.9.
Happy to give you this forecast, too. The area's most accurate weather from the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center. This is Steve Williams.
Today, mostly cloudy and humid with a high 78. It'll be warm and humid tonight. Periods of rain and a thunderstorm, low 71. Periods of rain tomorrow, high 77. Breezy tomorrow night, occasional rain and drizzle, low 62. And then Thursday, windy and cooler, on and off rain and drizzle with a high 65. Thursday night, cloudy and windy, milder in the evening, some rain and shower activity, low down to 59. I'm Steve Williams in the Delaware 105.9 Weather Center.
On the Circle in Georgetown, it is 66 degrees.
Be sure to play the ultimate football pool at our website, Delaware1059.com. Presented by Nicola Pizza on the Avenue, Upper Deck Sports Bar. Each week, our top scorer will win a $30 gift certificate courtesy of Nicola Pizza on the Avenue, Upper Deck Sports Bar. Offering 2 stories of great dining with an excellent view of downtown Rehoboth. Enjoy great food and drink specials during all pro and college football games. And bet, watch, and win with the Delaware Sports Lottery. Now at Nicola Pizza on the Avenue, Upper Deck Sports Bar. And be sure to play the ultimate football pool every week at Delaware1059.com.
Your home could be under silent attack. The enemy? Moisture that becomes trapped within the building envelope. Even in new construction, moisture creates mold growth, which can trigger upper respiratory illness, coughing and wheezing in otherwise healthy individuals. And it can bring on symptoms of patients with asthma or pneumonia. Want to ensure that your home won't be conducive to mold growth? Call the experts at Sussex Environmental, 302-947-1810.
It's 7:30.
At SussexEnvironmental.com.
That's right. Time for a news update. Kelly Steele is here. Good morning, Kelly.
Thank you, Dan. Good morning. 5 people, including 2 children, are pulled from the ocean during a dramatic water rescue in Ocean City. Spokesperson Jessica Waters says 2 children were in distress and 3 adults attempted to enter the water yesterday in order to rescue them when they also became caught in the rip current. All 5 rescued, all 5 taken to the hospital, all 5 reportedly going to be okay. Prison officials say a Delaware killer whose death sentence was twice overturned has died of natural causes. Authorities say 40-year-old Siddiqui Garden died on Sunday night at Christiana Hospital. He had been serving a life sentence for murder. Your forecast today going to be mostly cloudy and humid, although the sun's trying to shine here at the Newsplex in Milford right now, a high of 78. CBS News covers the nation and the world next. Delaware 105.9 News Time, 7:31.
CBS News Update.
Questions over Planned Parenthood's practices will be asked today by members of Congress as the group's leader, Cecile Richards, provides testimony this morning. Details from correspondent Henna Daniels.
President Richards will field questions today from lawmakers on Capitol Hill, some who are still seething after the release of secretly recorded videos that show employees discussing the use of aborted fetal tissue in medical research. Now, in testimony prepared ahead of this hearing, Richards aggressively defends her organization, saying the practice is just a small part of what it does for millions of women across the country.
Planned Parenthood gets nearly one-third of its $1.3 billion budget from the federal government. And while the hearings go on in Washington,
Planned Parenthood will hold rallies in dozens of cities across the country. They're calling it National Pink Out Day, and they're just hoping several supporters come out and make sure their support is heard.
CBS News Update. I'm Dave Barrett.
When I first started writing for RehobothFoodie.com, I had the pleasure of accompanying the late Matt Haley while he and CEO Scott Kammerer created Matt's Fish Camp out of a little sandwich shop on the sand in North Bethany. The concept was inspired by Matt Haley's deep love for Delaware seafood, coupled with some of New England's indigenous dishes like lobster rolls, Matt's exclusive fried Ipswich clams, and handmade Parker House rolls. The result? An informal and approachable restaurant that replicates the feel and flavors of the Northeast. The knowledgeable staff at Matt's Fish Camp will guide you through the menu to ensure that your beach dining experience is what you have come to expect from all 8 Sodell Concepts restaurants. Matt's Fish Camp is located just south of the Indian River Inlet Bridge, just moments from downtown Bethany Beach. Come see why the most discriminating diners are applauding the informal and delicious Matt's Fish Camp. Open 7 days from 11:30 to 10.
Streaming on YouTube, our 3-camera in-studio setup. YouTube has it. You just search the Dan Gaffney Show. Colin, it's a link there, right? They'll see a live event link. Colin Walls?
Yes, they will. It'll say, have a little box says live.
All right. Gene is on the phone. We're talking about drugs in the Oak Orchard, Long Neck area. Gene Longneck. Good morning, Gene.
Good morning, Dan. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. Is it bad?
Oh, man, it's progressively gotten worse. I mean, I've been there for almost 10 years now. I've known a girl she's been going to the methadone clinic for over 2 years, and she's still going even though she's pregnant. And, I mean, it's like a bunch of zombies down there. 7 o'clock in the morning, you got like 50 people wrapped around the corner waiting to get in there. I go to frequent the Palmer Shopping Center all the time. They got the Uncle Willie's, the old Uncle Willie's at the Shore Stop now.
Yeah.
Just like that caller before, Harry said about the bathrooms, they actually locked their bathrooms now because they had some guy pass out from shooting up heroin in there. And they don't let people use the bathroom anymore in there. And then if you go in that shopping center, you can see little baggies on the ground and stuff like that. And it's just, I think it's because, they got tighter with the prescription drugs, which then people went from the prescription drugs to heroin.
That method of the heroin epidemic is well known. The addiction happened through prescription pills, and then now we're on heroin. But that's pretty bad. I mean, when you're seeing methadone clinics and people wrapped around the corner, businesses locking up bathrooms, baggies on the ground. We had a guy call customers with heroin in their purse. I mean, it makes it sound horrible.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, it's a problem, and it's an ongoing problem that's just going to get worse. And I don't know if the regular everyday Joe could do anything about it, because it's like Z said before, you got to hit people at the top of the food chain, sort of say. But there's Enchanted Acres right across the street from Grotto's right there, right by the old car wash. There's a lot of, I don't want to say pillheads, but pillheads in there. There's a lot, I got a 12-year-old boy that likes to ride his bike around, and he's getting a little bit more brave now. It's like to go farther and farther, and it's just, it worries the heck out of me.
It does. I mean, the neighborhood is that sketchy?
Yeah, there's a lot of sketchy people around there, But I live right next door to them, and we got a fence, and there's a hole in the fence, and they got a lot of people that cut through. They cut through our park to get up the Long Neck Road. And I'm always apprehensive about, people cutting through. And I had a guy actually, it was maybe like
3 years ago, he knocked on my door about 8 o'clock at night. And my son went to open the door, and he said, there's a man by the door. And I told everybody, get away. And I went to the door, and he knocked on the door, and he gave me some excuse that his car broke down, and he needed $10. And I said, the only thing, you better get the heck off my porch. You ain't getting nothing around here. And then, he walked down, and then I followed him. I just went to the end of my driveway, and then he was just, walking, looking in people's yards and stuff like that. So, I mean, there's definitely something going on down there.
Well, Gene, what I've noticed, we know it's been bad, it's been getting worse, but lately my sense is, my sense, that it's rapidly getting even worse. If the heroin problem was bad a year or two ago, it seems like it's worse now and getting rapidly worse. I mean, is that true, do you think?
I think it is exactly true, just within the last couple of years, because, like I said, I've never seen baggies on the ground, and you never would hear of businesses locking up their bathrooms and stuff like that until just recently.
Wow. That's unbelievable. All right. Well, Gene, thank you for your experience as a resident of Long Neck, which is really the question I have posed in front of you if you're in the Oak Orchard, Long Neck area at 839-1059. Do you think things are getting worse in terms of the drug problem? 839-1059. Love to hear from you. All right. You can follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/Dan Gaffney Show. Twitter, Dan Gaffney on Twitter. And here on the radio at Delaware 105.9. The best way to get on the air with us is to actually pick up the phone and call 839-1059. That's the best way to get on the air. More from you and your calls, your opinions. We have people who grew up in Oak Orchard and now looking back at their community saying the drug addiction is so bad. Drugs, alcohol, robbing, crime running rampant. And we're asking if you think that's true. All right, here's J.D. In Milford talking about Oak Orchard. Hello, J.D.
Hey, good morning, Dan. I've heard from a lot of people about the Oak Orchard area and how bad it is. And I think the heroin epidemic is getting increasingly worse, not just in Oak Orchard, but in a lot of areas. And if you understand that, the way that stuff works, it's an exponential function because, as new addicts are added in, they don't die right away. I mean, they live on for years and years and years. So you're adding new addicts to that pool of people every day, and then as that grows, all kinds of crime and stuff come with it, and so it gives the appearance of an exponential growth because the crime does go up more and more, and I think the state police and even federal authorities are relatively powerless to be able to stop that. There's really not an infrastructure, at least in Delaware, but probably throughout the U.S. to treat that level of drug users. And I want to raise awareness to the listeners that the problem wasn't created overnight, and there's no silver bullet that's going to solve it overnight.
That's true. And also, not only exponentially are we getting more users, but don't the long-term users end up using more and more individually as well as tolerances change?
Yeah, their consumption goes up, and there's addiction issues in my family. We have family members that are dealing with narcotic-based stuff and alcohol-based stuff, and when you think about how to handle these people, and I am not a big proponent of a lot of 12-step groups just for spiritual reasons, but I think that they have a lot of good things to say, don't get me wrong. The idea of enabling a person to continue their addiction is a common theme within all of those 12-step groups, and you have to not be an enabler to the addiction. And I think as a society, we provide way too many enabling enhancements in life, because you can be an underperforming person in society in the form of a drug user. You know, drug users have a tremendous potential in life, but it'll never be realized until they're sober. But yet there's all kinds of state assistance to financially survive, you know, through disability, through, you know, all these issues, family members to help take care of them, and all those types of things. And so you keep these people from hitting rock bottom and looking for help. And as long as they have a way to get money, whether it's through, you know, begging or borrowing or stealing, they're going to continue to do that. And I, you know, my actual preference is you could legalize every drug under the sun, and then, you know, legalize addiction if you wanted to, but then you would have to control crime through two ways. You know, if you rob somebody and you're under the influence, well, that's a minimum sentence of X number of years, and make prison horrible. Don't make it a you know, kind of a vacation for a lot of people. And then you have to control the welfare on the other side, so that if people are going to be idle, they don't eat.
Right.
And then,
right. That's the enabler part, right? That's the enabling part. You got to eliminate the enabling of the addicts.
And then after that, you have to invest in treatment center infrastructures. But there's one other aspect to the whole thing, and I really think that a lot of people overlook it, and it's a long-term fix, is that we have got to reinforce the value of a family. And, you know, at this point, I don't even want to look at, you know, whether it's just traditional biological mom and dad, but, you know, throw some step parents in the mix. If you are not living in a two-parent home where both parents are plugged in, your risk of drug abuse skyrockets.
That's right.
And, you know, it's hard to stay married to, you know, the same spouse a lot of times. I get that. And it's hard to, you know, only make babies with one person. I get that. You know, I understand, you know, everybody comes from different backgrounds and things like that. But that, when you start deconstructing the family, historically, you'll see links to, you know, all kinds of violent crime, drugs, poor performance in school. That is the common denominator in a lot of our problems. And, you know, it may be out of fashion to have mom and dad be from the same genetic pool as you, and you know, live together. And I would even argue that, you know, you shouldn't even have both parents career driven, because you need a primary parent that's going to be there for the kids and be there to support them. And, you know, I would encourage all these people that are struggling with relationships and things like that, you know, go seek out a church and get some premarital counseling, or get some, you know, marital counseling, and really look at the benefit of staying married while raising your family.
JD, you're singing my song there. I think it's very important what you're saying. Absolutely. Here is Kathy in Georgetown. She's next, talking about drugs in the Oak Orchard, Long Neck area. Is it any worse than any other area? What's going on? Kathy, good morning.
Good morning, Dan. You know, I have to agree with JD. My husband and I own the laundromat right down from Ace Hardware in that shopping center. And it's a mom-and-pop operation, and we work very hard to make sure that we know the people that walk in that door. When they walk in, we help them, we greet them, and there's always somebody in that laundromat. And, you know, my husband and I have a high moral standard, and we expect certain things from the people that work from us and the people that come in and use our laundromat. It's a safe place, and we want them to feel that they can come in, they can do their laundry, they can sit down, they can relax.
What have you noticed in what we're talking about in terms of the rapidly increasing drug issue?
You know, I know it's out there. I've heard it. I've seen it. But like JD was saying, you have to have an ownership. You have to have knowledge of what's going on around you and jump in and make a difference. Somebody's not going to come in to our laundromat knowing that there's somebody there that's going to be watching them that is not allowing that type of behavior to go on in their business. It is rampant and it's sad, and we need to take ownership. There are too many things going on that people just kind of turn their head and don't see. When you see it, you take command of the situation. It just needs to be something that is dealt with and not kind of ignored, and I think that happens a lot. You see somebody that, you have suspicions, you know this may be going on, but people don't act on it. And I think if you own a business, and we're a mom and pop operation, and we want people to feel comfortable, and in order to do that, we have to be there. We have to know what's going on, and that's from 8 to 8 every day.
Thank you, Kathy. We're talking about the Oak Orchard, Long Neck area. There's actually a prayer vigil on Sunday to help with all the illegal things going on in that area, a community prayer vigil on the front lawn of the Community Church of Oak Orchard. This has led us to a discussion of folks who live in that area, just talking about the drug problem. And here is John in Dagsboro. Hello, John.
Good morning, Dan. Your caller before 2 callers ago kind of took all my thunder away. He pretty much made every point I was going to make. He was pretty much spot on, that guy.
Well, that's good to say. I'm glad you hung on to say that. Listen,
with the problem, but
do you have any dealings with that area?
I have some family that lives over there, and they're part of the problem.
What does that mean? Are they addicted to stuff?
The father is, the 2 sons are. They're in and out of SCI. They're heroin addicts. The mother's the biggest enabler in the world. As a matter of fact, I don't even care if they're listening, and I don't even care if anybody's listening in relation to them, because I don't hide things about this anymore, because they need to be shamed. But one of the sons just had a baby, or his girlfriend just had a baby. Both of them are addicted to heroin. Took forever to the baby get out of the hospital. They came out of the hospital under some agreement with social services that to care for the baby, to make sure the baby was being cared for properly, and make sure they weren't being, doing drugs. Despite the
we're starting to lose your call, man. I appreciate you being very bold about that. But unfortunately, we were losing your cell phone, so for that I apologize. Chad in Lewis, you're on Delaware 105.9. Hi, Chad.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, go ahead. We're talking about Long Neck, Oak Orchard, the drug problem throughout Delaware, but specifically those areas. Go ahead, please.
Right, definitely. I had a couple of questions. First question, do you know what the unemployment rate would be in that area?
The unemployment rate for Sussex County is extremely low. According to the Department of Labor, we are approximately, according to their figures, 95% or 96% employed, which means the unemployment rate is very low.
Wow. That's kind of hard to believe, per se. But outside of Mount Air, what large, industry would be in that area? I really don't see any, large industry for employment. You know what I mean? So that's why I was wondering what those statistics were as far as unemployment rate in that area.
Something I hear a lot of anecdotally is it's very difficult for us as business owners, people that I talk to a lot of. We have been trying to hire, and we can't find anyone. People find it very difficult to hire when they have an opening. You know why? Because people can't pass a drug screen.
Yeah, that's difficult. So, definitely there's a big problem, as far as heroin's concerned in that area. But also, I think there's probably like a lack of, job training skills in that area, or even, some type of youth facilities, or, there's no, I don't know of a YMCA or a Boys and Girls Club. Or,
I think there's a Boys and Girls Club there, certainly.
There is.
You've got schools there with after-school programs. Got a lot of stuff.
Right. Okay. I was just wondering because it just seems like, the drugs are a big problem, but also when it comes to it.
But a lot of the heroin addicts, my friend Chad, you understand, just based on news accounts, when they arrest somebody with baggies full of heroin and users and whatever, they're like 40, 50-year-old dudes.
Yeah. You're
not
right.
talking about an 18-year-old kid with no hope. You're talking about a 50-year-old dude.
Right. Yeah. Because the reason why I bring that up, because I mean, you can use Seaford for example. There's not a high industry employment there in Seaford. Say if there was still a quote unquote full running DuPont facility, the ability. I think a lot of that would be driven down. The crime, the drug usage, because they would actually have something to strive for in that area.
Chad, you and I both might learn something. I'm going to talk to a guy who runs a church in that area. Thank you so much, Chad. Let's go to Alan Miller, who's a pastor of the church having a prayer vigil, Community Church of Oak Orchard. Pastor Miller, why is this needed? How bad is it, quote unquote, in the area?
Well, Dan, thank you for the call. I've been in the area as pastor of the church here for about 25 years, and there have been problems ongoing throughout a good portion of that. But I personally think that as we allow our culture to become more secular, I think folks are really seeking, at this point, answers. And unfortunately, some folks do turn to things that are addictive, heroin, alcohol, and things like that. In the 25 years, I've also been chaplain with Indian River Fire Company. I've had my fair share of tragic scenes, such as the one that's being discussed this morning. I just believe with all my heart that in 2 Chronicles, God says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face, I will hear them from heaven. I will forgive their sin, and I will heal their land. I believe this creates a golden opportunity for us to take God at His word. And one of the members of the church actually came up with this idea, and I thought it was fantastic. I've spoken, it's on Facebook to invite other folks. There are other pastors that are going to be joining us. Anyone in the community, no matter what church you go to or whether you go to church or not, we just want folks to be welcome to come, to pray, to grieve. But I do believe also that in John chapter 17, Jesus tied the unity of the church to the success of the gospel. And our heart's desire is to lift up Christ in our community and to just invite folks to come and to realize that we appreciate what the state police do. We appreciate what the EMS folks do. There is a Boys and Girls Club here. They do a wonderful job. They even have a little satellite that meets here on the church property. We appreciate what they do, but we need Christ. We need His power.
Granted, I agree. For those from the outside, when they read on your flyer, illegal situations, I mean, you said there's always been a drug issue, but I just want to get a handle on if you think it's getting worse. Has it gotten worse?
Well, it certainly seems to have gotten worse. It has always been around in the time that I've been here, and I've been in and out of the Oak Orchard community for over 40 years. I came to Christ in this church almost 40 years ago, and there has been a problem, but I do believe it's getting worse. And I think part of the reason it's getting worse is because we've allowed ourselves to get so secular in our thinking. And, everyone's afraid to talk about God. Everyone's afraid to talk about prayer. We're afraid we're going to offend somebody. But I really believe we need His help desperately. With all the help that we get through the outside sources of DSP, the emergency medical providers, all of these things, and the folks in the fire company, I've been with them for over 25 years. They have to step in and out of all of these things, see these things firsthand. We need to call God back into our community. We need to stand together and lift up Christ.
The Community Church of Oak Orchard is on Oak Orchard Road in Oak Orchard. And
correct.
The prayer
right
vigil
across the street from the firehouse.
Prayer vigil is 6 o'clock Sunday night.
Yes, sir.
This Sunday. All right. Thank you.
And we encourage any pastor or any person in the community that wants to come, you're welcome to come join us. We're going to call out to God.
Thank you. Thanks for the call. Next up, it's Marie. I appreciate you getting on with us. And here's Marie of Millsboro. Hello, Marie.
Well, God bless him. I mean, it's going to take the Lord to take care of this problem for us because it's absolutely out of control. I noticed a difference since I've been here. About 7 years ago when I was first moving down here, just listening to radio, visiting friends and family. I didn't want to live in that area because it seems like that's where all the crimes were. But why is there a heroin problem? People don't grow it in their backyard. There are no neighborhood, local poppy fields.
There's a demand for heroin. There's a demand for heroin because of the difficulty in finding the prescription pharmaceuticals that people were addicted to. And so the heroin is cheaper and easier. It's cheaper.
Our best rights are in Afghanistan. Why are there poppy fields at all? 90% of it comes from that Golden Triangle, where we've had boots on the ground since, 9/11? Why are we allowing that poison to make it into the country on a national level?
Great question.
God bless everyone for what they're doing. It's terrible, and he's right. It all has to do with the secularism and, the nipping away at the family and the bonds. And,
all right. I'm really, Marie, thank you. I'm really behind here, and I want to give John 30 seconds here. John Rehoboth, you have a quick comment for us?
Yeah, Dan, that drug issue along that Oak Orchard is out of control. I happen to be in recovery, and I see a lot of young people that come in and out of the rooms trying to get a handle on what's going on with them and whatnot.
John, I'll tell you what I want to do. Can I call you in about 5 minutes? I'm going to call you back on this number.
That's fine.
Hold on. All right, we got it. John, I'm going to call you back after the news break because I want to hear what you have to say a little further, okay? And I just don't have the time, but I want to do that, okay? Delaware 105.9. We got a lot of stuff we got to get done here, and we're a little behind. So we want to get back on target and on track. It's a very important issue. We're talking about the crime problem in Oak Orchard, Long Neck, and drugs. As I look at the clock, we have gone a little over time, thanks to all of your phone calls. But we are not finished with this issue. We'll talk more about it coming up at Delaware 105.9. And you're going to hear a lot more about it coming up, along with, before the end of the show, tax cuts for everybody. So says Donald Trump. We'll hear about that coming up.
Local news first on Delaware 105.9.
In Delaware 105.9 News, time is 7:59. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kelly Steele from the Weather Center. It's very humid out today, mostly cloudy, according to meteorologist Steve Williams. We'll see some rain by tonight, a high of 78 degrees. The next couple of days don't look great. A Newcastle County lawmaker wants the federal government to investigate the shooting death of Jeremy McDole. He's a man in a wheelchair killed by Wilmington police officers last week. Councilman Jay Street asking U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch and the FBI to investigate McDole's death. Police say a witness saw McDole shoot himself. He then refused to disarm and show his hands before the officers opened fire. The race for mayor in Wilmington expands to 4 candidates as a very familiar name announces he's running in next year's Democratic primary. We're talking about City Council President Theo Gregory from the first town in the first state. This is WXDE Lewis. It's 8 o'clock.
News, I'm Frank Sedapani. President Obama and Russia's Vladimir Putin are poles apart on what to do about the Syrian civil war.